Right, why do we not have game showing up? What is... Why is this happening? Okay, it's working now. Let me just update. Do the ping. Okay, so, well, as the carriage wheels clack a steady rhythm over the cobblestones, you watch the lands of Magra, rendered dry and desolate by ancient magic, sail by the window. You are back in your home province, but you are no longer the boy who left it. At this very road 4 years ago, you return a nobleman and a judge. You're continuing the family trade. You have returned to serve at the province's prefecture. Your home and the yacht is but a few hours away along this dusty road. The carriage is stuffy and hot from the sun, even with the thick blinder shut tight. It is a familiar heat, but you will now need to get used to it again. The heat weighs heavy on you, but it also reminds you of your childhood. You will see your family again soon. To pass the time before you return home, you read your father's most recent letter. Again and again, you carefully reread your father's uneasy words, steeling yourself for your first real job and the service that awaits. Dear Pimp, I anxiously await your return, my son. You are the third judge in our bloodline, the pride of our family. These are hard times for a judge. By the Emperor's decree, Archduke Tarquinius Milaniadas is no longer the overseer of Magra. The new overseer is the Emperor's own brother, Gaius Tempest. And now our province has been split by enmity and strife between the Archduke and the overseer. Pretty sure I've already read this. Some side with the Archduke, loyal to their liege and determined to follow the traditions of old. Yet many judges and officials are eager to side with Gaius Tempest as the new overseer. Compared to his brother Cornelius, he is less radical and more cautious, but he too seeks to transform the empire and bring the estates to peace. Yet other Archnians are outraged that Archduke Melanidas has been deposed. One among them is Dorius Otton, High Commander of Magra. Though Otton and his men are sworn to serve Gaius Tempest and follow his orders, it is no secret that his loyalty remains with the Archduke. Okay. As for the judges at the prefecture, every day we deal with more and more. Yeah, we definitely read this already. I didn't want the face cam on today. I didn't want the face cam on today. So, what did we want to have up? We don't like Otton, so we'd like to get evidence against Otton and some fairly high justice. Or we could do it this way, which means I don't think we want to ban the Court of Honor, but that's for Korea. Career or justice. Knight of Serpents, I don't... Ennobled by the sword. we definitely want that. That's reputation over 8 and wealth over 5. Or we can do it this way, which is slightly harder, but also slightly better, I think. We want to keep it above 2. There's a whole bunch of stuff for this. I'd like it if Mother recovered, and I suppose that would boost our unity, most likely. I would definitely like this, but that would mean the family at peace and unity 7. I think we're at unity 5. What are our stats? Reputation 5, wealth 4, unity 4. So to get ennobled by the sword, we need 4 reputation. We need what? 3 reputation and 1 wealth? 3 reputation and 1 wealth, yeah. Without losing more than 1 unity. Patron of the Powerful, I think, is what we want more than this. I have no idea what this is or what it does. I don't think I want to do this because it's got swords on the logo, which means we're probably good at it because we're good at swords. We almost definitely want this. That's just good. Occupation, judge, fight for justice, we're at 4 and 4. And we need to get up to 8. Who's Oton? Oton is just kind of a dickhead. The carriage stops. The familiar gate, your bedroom window, the same one you used to climb out at night from time to time. A well-tended garden with its imported soil, delightful greenery, and mother's beloved violet irises, the porch you used to jump off of when you were little. Yeah, you are home. You touch the handle of the front door and halt for a moment. It has been 4 years since you left for a Turner. It feels like yesterday. The air inside is cool, as usual. Father cannot stand a stuffy room and insists on constantly airing out the house. You hear hurried footsteps coming from the direction of Father's studies. Before you have time to take off your travelling coat, you are crushed in Stefan's strong embrace. Your brother has grown taller and more broad shoulders. When he detaches himself from you, you notice how harsh his features have become. He looks even more like grandfather now. You've grown so much over the last 4 years, Pimp. Just look at you. You left a low-born boy, but you've come back to Brante. I'm so glad you've joined us in the noble estate. You respond by giving your brother a wrapped gift. Stefan unwraps it carefully. When he sees the sword, a boyish smile appears on his stern face. It's beautiful. What a wonderful gift, brother. Maybe I should start a collection. What do you think? There's no hurry, Stefan. And now let me have a look at the prefecture's new judge. Father approaches you, his hand extended. You shake it and wrap your arms around him. Father looks older. His back is hunched and he squints. There are deep lines around his mouth and silver threads in his dark hair and moustache. Taking a step back, Father examines you from head to toe. What fine posture. You've had excellent teachers. I'm so proud you made it, son. Mother comes out of the living room, leaning on Nathan's arm. You immediately see signs of the illness you read about in the letters from home. Her back is bent, her hair is grey, a thin web of wrinkle covered her face, and her complexion has lost its colour. She can barely stand unassisted. Nathan leads Mother to you. Slowly, very delicately, she embraces you. You press your face into her shoulder, breathing in the nearly forgotten, dearly beloved smell. Mother holds your shoulder and studies your face for a long time. You've been away so long, son. How you've grown. Just a short while ago, I was cradling you in my arms. You look so much like your father when he was your age. So Pimp, Brante. Nathan approaches you next. Your younger brother is now as tall as you are, and and his hair almost reaches his shoulders, but he still has the same lost look in his eye he had when he was a boy. And here's your ne'er-do-well, your little brother. Hasn't changed a bit or grown an inch after all this time. He couldn't get into the seminary, so he just hangs around. Nathan now lets out a heavy sigh and awkwardly puts his arms around you. I'm glad to see you back, Pimp. Home just hasn't been the same without you. You hear a snort behind you. Everyone turns. At the top of the stairs stands Gloria, her arms across her chest. She is dressed as a man, in culottes, a frock coat, and a necktie with a massive pin. The entire family waits for her to greet you. Stefan shakes his head disapprovingly. Your sister descends as if forcing herself to do it. A few steps away from you, Gloria stops and bows. Welcome to your home, said Brante. Your sister looks thinner and leaner than she used to. She has dark circles under her eyes, as though she has been sleeping too little or crying too much. Enough pleasantries. Come on in. The table is set. Lydia has prepared a veritable feast for you. For the first time in years, the entire family is together. You can finally spend some time with another member of your family today. Okay, we got... So, Gloria and Stefan hate each other. Nathan is, as usual, just a complete waste of space. And Mother is dying. I kind of want to do this one, but I feel like Stefan's more useful. But I'm also kind of curious about Gloria. I would like to keep Mother alive if possible. I don't know if our relations has any bearing on that. Talk to Mum. Alright. The music isn't particularly loud. At the table, you cautiously ask Mother about her health. Wait, was I always... Oh, it's nothing, Pimp. I have no complaints. I've just been a little weak lately. It happens at my age. I humbly accept whatever fate the twin gods have chosen for me. After these words, she stops abruptly and lifts up her eyes. Father cuts in. You know, son, you should tell us about your life in the capital. Have you made any useful acquaintances? Our family could do with some good connections right now. You've said in one of your letters that you've laid your eyes on the Imperial family. What are they like, the Tempests? You have to relate the 4 years you spent in Eterna. Only later that night, while talking to Nathan on the back porch, you learn more about Mother's health. I'll be frank with you. Mother isn't doing so well. Gloria and I do our best not to leave her alone. You can ask her questions, but her answers often don't make sense. And she keeps falling silent in the middle of a conversation, like she did today. Her illness is consuming her. You know, if Mother passes, she may not be reborn. I dread to think what will become of Father then, and of Gloria. Gloria has had a hard time of it lately too. Stefan has treated her like dirt for the last year. I think he plans to drive her out of the house so her origins won't taint the Brante name anymore. Stefan only cares about one thing now, getting our family ennobled by the sword. So for him, Gloria is just an obstacle between him and his goal. You spend quite some time in silence gazing at the radiant stripe of the shining pillar, which grows more and more luminous against the darkening sky. The Brante family is about to face some challenging times. It's going to be hard to get our unity up to 8. The services begins today. You get dressed early in the morning. How much do we need? We need 4 unity. Donning a brand new jacket with a cravat and a hat. It's an immaculate look if you dare say so yourself. You head to the prefecture with Father. The prefecture moved recently. It now occupies a massive new building of white sandstone in the very centre of Anziot. A stone statue looms above it, the sword of the younger twin, the divine law that directs worldly judgment. All legal disputes in the province are to be resolved here. You and Father walk up the marble stairs, past the commoners, merchants and lesser nobles, all petitioners and litigants huddled by the pillars. Well now, my son, here you shall begin your service to the Empire. In the midst of the great struggle I told you about, if you don't mind a little advice, you will serve under Sir Elborn. Follow my example and stay close to your superior. He is a human of great worth, and practically your relative. You will pass the courtroom and up to the second floor, where judges work in their offices and receive petitioners. The corridors are many and narrow, filled with the smell of old papers and the sounds of muffled mumbling voices and secretaries and gendarmes running to and fro. Father guides you down a corridor that ends with the door to Sir Elborn's office. Pimp, it's time for you to stand before the prefect. Remember the friendship between our families. You knock and enter. The spacious oak-panelled office is not without decoration, yet its adornment are tasteful and elegant rather than garish. The flag of Magra bearing a silver tree hangs on the wall. Behind an imposing desk sits Baron Augustin Elborn, surrounded by papers. His face wears a focused expression you recall for his visit to the past. Although it is more wrinkled than you remember, he looks up and his face comes to life. He rises and extends a hand to you. Why, young Pimp Brante? Hey, what a pleasure it is to see you again. I see your years at the capital have turned you into a stately young man. I was told you proved yourself quite capable at the college. The city of Anziot needs worthy judges who know their craft now more than ever. Allow me to welcome you into service for the good of the Empire. I'm sure you already know the basics of judicial work. Serving at the prefecture, however, takes more than finding your way through our laws. Although they are quite labyrinthine and contradictory, there's no denying that. Anywhere you look in our province, you'll see friction between the estates. Old noble blood, new nobles, rich commoners, poor commoners, they all have their legal disputes. And we judges work here to make sure this pot never boils over. If we are too eager to follow the traditions of old and bow to noble privilege, the common estate will go desperate and lose all hope for freedom. But if we openly side with the commoners, the noble's eye will be quick to find us. And so, Judge Brante, I ask you to be wary and wise. Peace hangs by a thread in this province. Carefully consider every decision you make at court before rendering your verdict. But first, you need to get accustomed to your new position. We shall begin at once. The prefecture has already assigned you a number, your legal proceedings to review and judge. Your office is ready and waiting for you, Sir Brante. So, Chapter 5 is called The Revolt. Funny feeling that us trying to keep the peace might be a futile effort. Instructions are over, the work begins. You recognise your new office by the brass plate on the door reading Sir Pimp Brante, Judge. I need to make up my mind whether or not our name is pronounced Brante or Brant. Do I pronounce the E or not? I can't tell which one I prefer, and I keep kind of just going with whichever one I... Sir Brante, congratulations on your first day of service. Allow me to introduce myself, Judge Carlo Fockergraben, a humble servant of the law like yourself. It is my hope that we will become fast friends. And now, if I may, a word of warning to help your work progress smoothly, as a token of our future friendship. I am aware that Sir Elborn is your immediate superior. As a loyal servant of the Empire, you will, of course, take his word as your guide. Yet there is no reason to neglect all the other judges at the prefecture, all of whom are noble men of great worth. Their guidance will most certainly aid you as a judge. It will be my pleasure, Sir Brante, to facilitate your introduction to the noble judges of the prefecture as soon as possible. I see glory in your future service to the Empire, and it certainly can't hurt to receive assurances and support when you might need it most. I shall not detain you any longer, but if you wish to make some valuable connections, my office is right across from your own. Another elegant bow from Judge Fockergraben, and the door closes again. You are alone at your desk. Today is an important day. What will you focus on? Ask father for advice. Justice up, career down, diplomacy up. We need 10 career for Melanidas to take over the city, which I think is what we want. We want to focus, I think, on career over justice. And unity over reputation. Oh wait, we probably don't have, we only have 2 unity to work with. Oh no, wait, that's fine, we want to go up in unity. Reputation, wealth, career and justice mean nothing to the family outcome. So I think career is the way we want to go. Although the diplomacy bonus is nice, it actually is kind of a lost cause at this point. So we'll just get acquainted with the judges. So Vulcan Graven's offer seems rather reasonable now that you think about it. You dedicate some time to the cases and necessary paperwork, then shift the case folders aside and walk to the office across from yours. Judge Fockengraben greets you warmly. Sir Brante, how splendid of you to stop by. Come, let us pay a few visits to the most distinguished of your new colleagues. I'm sure they will be delighted to make the acquaintance of such a promising young man. Oh, his voice makes me so He's not by no, blah 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 blah. Walk down the hall, starts mentioning other judges by name, origin, age and experience, power and influence. Stop by another of the judges' offices. Hours pass. One after another, the judges make it quite clear to you that when a noble and a commoner clash in the courtroom, the court is to side with the noble every time, no matter how affluent the commoner may be. Only when both parties hail from the common estate may a judge fully rely upon the rule of law. Before you know it, your first day at the prefecture is over. Just look at how much you've accomplished in just one day, Brant. So many experienced judges, and you've made a splendid impression of all of them. Your future is all but assured now, I guarantee it. But remember, courteous words are not the only thing that matters at the prefecture. Your decisions will not go unnoticed. Pimp, my friend, I greatly hope your youthful exuberance will not result in any gaffes that may hinder our mutual effort at maintaining order in our province. Act with wisdom in mind, especially when the wisdom of your colleagues is always within reach. Say farewell. So many useful acquaintances, your career will prosper. However, there is a burden of expectation on you. They want you to fall in line aside with noble privilege without a second thought. Yeah, that might be a bit of that's a bit of an ask. You come back home after a short stroll through the city. So you step foot in the house, you're greeted by Stefan, who invites you to have a talk in Father's office. When you enter the room, Father has a heap of letters in front of him and is signing them one after another. Son, Stefan and I must discuss an important matter with you. While you were in the capital, our family formally petitioned the overseer to grant us the nobility of the sword. We have 3 generations of noble blood already. We have the right to make our nobility hereditary. Your grandfather took the first steps towards the nobility of the sword as soon as Stefan was born, and now we are on the brink of becoming the Labrantes. If Overseer Gaius Tempest and the nobles of the province deem us worthy, we will receive a hereditary title. All nobles of the Brant family will remain noble forever, as will their descendants. Father and I do our utmost to maintain the family's position, but our goal can be reached only if your reputation remains unblemished in the eyes of high society. The nobility is watching over every step. Father lays a hand on your soldier. Now this is your cause too. The future of our family depends on it. We need estimable reputation and wealth. Everyone bearing the name of Brante affects it. Remember that with every action you take, Pimp. You will have to appear before Anziot High Society. We're going to host a reception for the nobility at our home soon. You must uphold the honour of a family, brother. You relate the news from Eterna to our guests and present yourself in a favourable light. Stepping at the helm, the entire family spends a full week preparing for the majestic reception. The house is flooded with decorations and new tableware. Delicacies are cooking in the kitchen round the clock, and the napkins now bear an embroidered oak branch in chains, the family Brante crest. Gloria is the only one to neglect the common cause. Were it up to me, I wouldn't be seen at this hypocritical gathering, but I don't want to let Sir Robert down. He's the only reason I plan to stay for the event. The evening of the reception has come. Dignified conversations and clinking of glasses fill the house. Among your guests are many high-born, powerful people. Your father and Stefan dance from guest to guest, making sure no one is overlooked. Oh, Pimp, how splendid to see you. So what was your time in the capital like? You exchange pleasantries with a high-placed relative. Gloria and mother spend the evening on the settee. Neither your father nor your elder brother introduce you to the noble guests. Well, one's dying and the other one is literally going to cause a fuss, so that's fair. Still, one of the guests, a young nobleman of the sword named Jose El Peltier, keeps staring at Gloria in fascination. Your sister averts her eyes, bemused. Lady Gloria, you are the true gem of the evening. You look so marvelously, darling. I haven't seen you like even in the capital. When you walk past Gloria, you hear a hurried whisper. Pimp, please talk to me. Mr. Peltier keeps following me. I feel uneasy. What does he want from me? I'm just a lowly commoner. Come with me to the other side of the room, but I'll probably still stand out among all these fine nobles. Look, it's Brante the painter. I wonder what brought him so far from the capital. It would be fabulous if he could paint our family portrait. We should all be on a canvas together. We're one big happy family after all. It's time to choose how you'll share the news from the capital. I apparently can't do because I don't have diplomacy high enough. That is a shame. That would be good. Present your mother and sister. That's Purchase a family portrait. Talk about your victory in the tournament. 2 reputation, 1 diplomacy, 1 eloquence, and Stefan goes up. We do need a bit of reputation. What wealth do we need? Was it 5 wealth we needed? Yeah. We're starting to verge on poor. I think the portrait might actually be the best for us, because we also do want to get unity up. I want to try and get unity up. Feels like a waste winning the tournament if we don't use it. We always remember grandfather like this. His heavy searching look, his hawkish features, his opposing body, and a cane he kept in his hands at all times. If by pure chance you passed Durante and mentioned that the portrait was painted by a local artist, well, surely Sir Durante's skill must be incomparably greater. Would he be interested in painting a group portrait of the entire Brante family? First, Durante politely declines. He must head back to the capital soon, and he has no time to spare for painting. But you remonstrate that you will pay any price, and his work will soon be seen by the highest society of Ganziot. Durante eventually succumbs to your persuasion. Spend the night negotiating with the paper. A proper portrait will take a fair amount of time to paint, and Durante's prices are high. Convincing your family turns out to be just as challenging. Gloria will not pose in a dress or put her hair in a bun. Nathan almost has to be forced to cut his hair. Stefan insists that he must be drawn to the right of his father, with Gloria behind them. Eventually, you succeed in helping your family reach a consensus. The portrait is perfect. Your parents look dignified, hand in hand. Stefan stands proudly to their right. You and your best attire to the left of them. Gloria brings some life to the painting with her unruly hair and daring outfit. Even Nathan seems to belong there. The portrait is proudly displayed above the fireplace in the sitting room. No one else in Magra has a portrait by Brante himself. This will emphasize our position. Once Gloria agrees with her elder brother. At least on this canvas, we're one family, whatever our states may be. Oh, we are going into poverty. And I don't really need any of these stats, but we've got them. Brante home has been uneasy for several months now, with father travelling all over the province for his judicial duties. The animosity of Stefan and Gloria has grown into full-blown feud. Your older brother tries to use his position as heir to keep the sister in check and make her behave in accordance with her estate. Gloria repudiates his authority. Their fights rock the house on a daily basis. Eventually, after returning from his latest trip, father gathers Stefan, Gloria, Nathan and you in his office. His somber look pretends a difficult conversation. Stefan gazes at his father defiantly. Gloria is poised to lash out and run away. Nathan quietly keeps to the side. Children. For a long time now, our family has been striving to become nobles of the sword. Every noble member of the Brante family will gain a hereditary title. This is your grandfather's dying wish. Why am I here, Sir Robert? She's right. She's right. This is a Brante matter. Wait until I finish, Stefan. I am still the head of this household. If you are so truly concerned about honour, show your father some respect. It can't be helped. Not all of us are noble. But now we must be united as never before. We must work together to protect the reputation and wealth of this family. But you, Stefan, perpetually humiliate Gloria. Father, all I'm trying to do is put her in her place. You know perfectly well the consequences of any attention Gloria might attract. Our every step is being observed. The nobles will make pariahs of our family for all eternity if they remember Gloria's filthy origins and your reckless marriage to Lydia. Father turns red in the face, but with considerable effort, he remains composed. That is so. Our grandfather did everything in his power to remedy your mistakes. Please, Father, don't repeat them. Gloria speaks up. I'm just trying to live, Sir Robert, but Stefan wants to lock me in a cage so nobody will ever lay eyes upon me. That's not it at all. You are lowborn, but you don't live by your lot. You do whatever takes your fancy. You're constantly grumbling about the order of things. Did you know, Father, that she defies all prohibitions by continuing to write poetry? As far as you're concerned, anyone who contradicts you is an insurgent. When will you grasp the idea that you may not argue with a nobleman? I am heir to the family, and my word is your law. Yeah, that's what I'm going for. Like, if we can get her adopted, this will solve so many problems, but we need to get 8 unity. Hold your tongues, both of you! Let Pimp speak! Oh god, he was witness your quarrels. He should know the best which of you is in the right. Why the fuck would I ever appeal to Nathan if that's the outcome? Fucking hell. Oh, we can't take more wealth loss. So we're definitely not spending. We're definitely not doing that. Defend Gloria. Side with Stefan. Unity is more important than reputation. It's not if we're going for the sword. No. To get the sword, we need only 3 unity. We've already got that, and we need to focus on reputation. But Stefan is such a prick. How much reputation does it take? I keep looking at this and keep forgetting 8 fucking reputation. Oh, goddamn, we need 3 rep and 2 wealth. I think we can afford this. I'm gonna defend Gloria. This one is so useless though. That gets you unity, I guess. But it costs so much. Maybe if you're on the theological route, this is better. Definitely not doing that one. These two are off the table. So it's whether we want -1 unity and Gloria to hate us more, or we want to... I mean, our relationship with Stefan will still be fine. It'll still be 3. I'm going to take the rep hit. Turn to Stefan abruptly and point your finger at him. It's no wonder Gloria fights back so fiercely. Stefan torments and chastises her incessantly. If your elder brother stops smothering every impulse Gloria has, she won't resist so viciously. You're a family after all, not a pack of wild animals where the strong dominate the weak. Are you blaming me for her escapades, Pimp? Me, who selfishly labours to preserve our family name? This is outrageous. Father, will you really heed to his advice? Pimp is right, Stefan. You have overstepped your bounds. I took Gloria into my house, so you, my son, must respect her and be considerate of her. Your origins do not give you the right to put such pressure on your sister. Stefan rushes out of the office and slams the door behind him. Gloria cannot conceal her joy upon hearing you and Father chastise Stefan. That little tyrant. Now teach him that what goes around comes around. I hope he leaves me be from now on. Soon rumours start circulating in Anziart High Society, suggesting that you're orchestrating a plot against Stefan, the legitimate heir of the family. It is not hard to guess who started those rumours. Now the entire city knows there is trouble in the Brante household. I mean, I am. If we get this, then, where is it? There's one which makes us the heir. Heir of the family. Yeah, ennobled by the sword. Oh no, wait, and the heir also has to not equal Stefan. Wait, how does that work? You know what, never mind. I don't think sending her to Valona and getting her adopted are at all related. To get her adopted, we just need to get the family at peace, or the secret plot. But I don't know what the secret plot is or how to get it. And to get the family at peace, we need over 7 unity and unite the family. I don't know what unite the family is. That's like a mission, I guess. If we get over 7, I guess it procs, and then we have to complete it. It's the morning of a very sultry day, and you are back at the office. You're beginning to get used to the duties of your new profession. Father visits you on the job now and then to see your progress and provide advice, but by now he is confident you can handle work on your own. Today is your first case, assigned by the prefect himself. From the comfort of the chair, you go through the facts and circumstances of the case. The matter seems simple at first. Seeking some desperately needed financial gain, a noble from the less than wealthy Avila family rented out a sizable portion of his estate to a well-off commoner by the name of Basil Young. All the rent payments are in order, and there is plenty of time left before the lease is set to expire, but the commoners built a large dye works on the estate, and Avila suddenly filed a case with the prefecture to evict him. The rental agreement specifically states the commoner has the right to construct any building on the land. The noble, however, thinks he has a final say on any construction since the land belongs to him. Basil Young, on the other hand, has refused to vacate the rented land since the term of the agreement has not expired. So basically, Basil Young is completely on the right, but the noble is a noble. The litigant Sir El Avila enters first. He is an aging noble who dresses far too colourfully for his years. He walks into your office with confidence and sits in front of you. Next man is Basil Young, a heavy-set man with a thick beard, clothed in an old jacket and clutching a hat. He stands by your desk and bows to you. Sir Avila does not hesitate to speak first. Your Honour, I demand you drive this commoner Young from my land. His dye works is a noisy, nasty, ugly building, and I refuse to have it on my property. My family already had to endure their warehouses and their filthy workers right by our own estate. This is simply beyond the pale. Either the court says the dye works must be demolished, or I, Gustave Elvilla, will do it myself. You ask Sir Elvilla to compose himself and tell the commoner to give his statement. Brother Young gives his account, speaking in a deep, gruff bass.
Your Honour, it cost me all my money to build the dye works. The contract is clear. I got the right to build anything on the land during my rental period, and Sir Avila didn't say a word at first, but now he up and demands we demolish it. My family will be ruined. That's not gonna happen, say I. Sir Avila screams at him in return, outraged by what he calls his cunning trickery. The bearded Basil Young disagrees again and again, his pudgy finger pointing the clause in agreement. It is noon already, the sun is so hot, even the air itself seems to melt away. It's your first case ever. It's time to deliver the verdict. So we can't ask for a bribe. Which would somehow increase justice. Sure. Terminate the rental agreement. Would be awful. Just like I mean, it gets its reputation, but holy shit. Propose a law that would grant noble landowners the right to terminate their rental agreements in court at any time. Then what the fuck is the point of the agreement? Okay. This gives us extra career and loses a justice, but justice is so low. We do want more career than justice, but justice is too low. And I mean, he is completely correct. Like it's not even close. So I'm going to protect Young's rights. You deliver your verdict. As the rental agreement clearly states, Basil Young has the right to use the aforementioned land belonging to the Avila family until the year 1150 and construct any buildings on the aforementioned land. Basil Young's use of the land is not in violation of the agreement, and therefore he must not be evicted, and the dye works will remain. Any attempt to drive him off or demolish the building will constitute a breach of law. He's still got 12 years on that lease. How dare you! This is my own land, and I can do whatever I want with it. It is my right. I can rent it out, and I can take it back just the same. And your puny little papers mean nothing to me. If you refuse to resolve this peacefully, Your Honour, why, I'll just put the damn dye works to the torch. You have a response to that. If Young's property should come to harm through Alvilla's actions, the nobleman will provide recompense for all damages and pay a fine to the Emperor. The law of the Empire is the Emperor's rule. Nobles and commoners alike must obey the law in equal measure. Your words are truthful but unyielding. The nobleman has no chance. His face pale with rage, Sir Alvilla spits out a goodbye through clenched teeth and walks away. Thank you so much for your just verdict, Sir Brante. I never even hoped you would protect my rights after all. Now the dye works is gonna hit it big. The other judges soon learn of your verdict. With your very first case, you have caused quite a stir at the prefecture. Most judges would not have even deigned to hear the commoner's statement. Yet you defied noble privilege and enforced a lawful agreement against a nobleman. A little omen for the other nobles. Ooh, no, they might have to actually follow the law that is already massively slanted in their favour. Fuck 'em. Still though, I do need that. I do need to get my career up a bit. What did we need again? Was it 8 career? 8 reputation. Oh, career is irrelevant for that. Career is good for this. 8. I mean, we could just do it the justice route. I'm curious about what the Court of Honor is. But patronage of the powerful, we'd need for that. Or evidence. Patronage of the powerful. There's no... Yeah, there's nothing conditions for those. There's no way we can ever ban the Court of Honour. If we become Protector of the Common Folk, though, which we might just do by accident... Okay. Then... we can sentence him through the regular channels. One, two, three. Looks like we've maybe got like maybe 10 years. Two powerful lords have been struggling for power in Magra for over 2 years now. The new overseer of the province, Gaius Tempest, cannot seem to rein in the obstinate spirit of Archduke Tarquinius Milandas. Unwilling to accept that he is no longer the overseer of Magra, the Archduke still stubbornly continues to assert his right to rule the province. Most of the Magran gentry, who swore allegiance to him generations ago, remain loyal to him even now. I think we're on the side of Melanidas, because we want to have sex with his daughter, who is hot, and very rich and powerful. But that means we need to get the career up to bring him back in. I am the voice and will of Emperor Uther II in the province of Magra. All lands, deeds, and titles notwithstanding, Archduke Melanidas must obey his sovereign's will and heed his decree. I hereby extend to Archduke an offer of peace. Should the Archduke cease his insubordination, his lands, deeds, and titles shall remain his own. The Archduke's response to the overseer was openly defiant. Since the days of... Oh, we need Since the days of yore, the land of Magra has belonged to the Melanidas dynasty. We are part of the Empire, and we are the Emperor's loyal servants. However, our dynasty will not stand for such intrusion upon our lawful rights and privileges. Never before has an Archduke been stripped of his right to represent the Emperor's rule in his own province. So do not forget, Sir Overseer, that the highest noble families of Magra have sworn fealty to me alone. I don't think you'll miss much. Neither the Archduke nor the Overseer will relent, but both are too powerful to be readily disposed of. The bad blood between the two Archnians has festered for too long, and the common people have begun to pay the price for their strife. Also, we need to get a move on. It's already been nearly an hour. Stripped of the Overseer's tax privileges, the Archduke of Melanidas has decided to impose its own levy upon the citizens and villagers of Magra. The commoners are now forced to pay taxes twice, first to the Overseer and then to the Archduke. The double burden is too much for the common people of Magra to bear. Many have refused the second tithe outright as a lawless measure, but the Imperial Legion, led by young Dorius Otton, is ruthless. Eagerly and without mercy, the Legion soldiers collect the Archduke's due in cities and villages alike. Good thing I got that wealth of Magra up, hey! Last year has been an ordeal for your family. The pains taken to be ennobled by the sword, the close attention of the city aristocracy, the squabbles between Stefan and Gloria. Tonight your preoccupied father has gathered your entire family around a table in the backyard. The sun almost set, and there is a soft breeze. But instead of a meal in the open air, you're going to attend a family meeting. In the middle of the table, you see an open gilded box. It is full. Yeah, I'm not going more than 3 hours. I wanted to get this entire section done, but it's a pretty big section, so he might not. This is full of jewels. Archduke Melanidas himself has bestowed this gift upon us. It is a surprise indeed. I thought you all had a right to know. His father unfolds a letter lying beside the box. Sir Robert Brante, I bestow this precious box upon you and your family as a symbol of the care with which I treat the people of my province. Pray accept this gift. Remember with whom the loyalty of the true nobles of Magra lies. Archduke of Magra, Tarquinius of the Melanidas. The family stares in amazement at the jewels sparkling in the last rays of sunshine. It is worth quite a fortune, but the Archduke is fully aware that I am on the side of Prefect Braun and Overseer Gaius Tempest. Could he really expect our loyalty to be bought so brazenly? On the other hand, The Archduke is not demanding on anything of us, and our family has borne a lot of expenses recently. Father, no one is forcing you to side with Melandas. Who are we in comparison to the Archduke anyway? We must not anger him by refusing his gift. The jewels are certainly welcome. They are worthy of being shared with the best families of Anziot. We will pave our way to the nobility of the sword. Mother shakes her head glumly. Oh, Robert, I have a feeling this gift bodes ill. It may be an impertinence on my part, but I do not want our family to be indebted to the Archduke. Certainly not. Accepting gifts from Melanidas is infamous for oppressing the commoners and robbing villagers blind with his taxes. This isn't your decision, Gloria. It's a matter of our family's honour and reputation. Please don't start bickering again. Let Pimp say what he thinks we should do with this gift. I kind of want to take it. We don't have enough diplomacy to do this, which would get our reputation up a lot. Decline the gift. That's so much unity. Sell the jewels. I want the unity, man. Oh. And it gets me Valor. I think the Valor is what tips it over the edge. Like, if I get to 20 Valor, then I can do something special. But this is so much unity, I can't pass it up. You state that such a gift is not to be accepted. The Archduke will see it as an oath of allegiance to him. It would be better to provoke his anger than to fall into his trap. You ask Father to send the box back at once. Well, I suppose you're right, Pimp. It is far too dangerous. Not only for me, but for the entire family. I'll write to the Archduke. Bring me my quill. It's your decision, Father, but please consider how much we stand to lose. There are no jewels I would not renounce to keep you safe. Mother Nathan and Gloria cast grateful looks at you. Even Stefan accepts Father's decision after some grumbling. You spend the rest of the night around the table, resting, conversing pleasantly and amusing yourself. For the first time in a long while, there is nothing casting a shadow over your home. The Archduke does not deign to reply to Father's letter. No one expected otherwise. Does the Archduke count you among his enemies now, or has he forgotten about your existence? Why waste time guessing when you have a moment of peace to enjoy? There's only one disadvantage. You do not have a single coin tucked away in the family treasury. Yeah, we could do with a bit more moolah. I haven't spent any willpower in a long time. I mean, I just said that I wanted to side with the Duke, and then I've pissed him off. So we might not be doing that on this playthrough. You've just completed your first year of service at the prefecture. Several days after your second year begins, there is a knock at the door. You look up from your paperwork and tell the visitor to come in. Sir Elborn's secretary slips inside quietly. The prefect has an important matter to discuss with you in his office. Augustin Elborn looks weary and aged, but he greets you with his usual characteristic warmth. You take a seat in the comfortable chair across from him. Sir Elborn asks his secretary to pour you and him some wine. Sir Brante, good to see you. I hope the judge's trade is coming easily to you now. I must admit, I've been watching your first cases closely. You already had to resolve a rather difficult land dispute between a commoner and a noble. We will see even more litigation of this kind in our province in the future. Now it's time for you to answer an important question. In this great dispute between two estates, where will you stand as a judge? Take a look around you. Life in the Empire as we know it is changing. It is our duty as nobles and judges to make peace between all the estates on the basis of the law. However, the prefecture faces a great hindrance in its pursuit of this goal. Many nobles are still determined to abide only by the traditions of old, especially the Arknians. For those nobles, the only law above them is a court of honour, where noble ranks and duels decide everything. They reject the jurisdiction of the prefecture and outright defy the newer laws and regulations of the Empire. This is to say nothing of what happens when an Arknian has a dispute with a human commoner. Some Arknians would rather cut a human down there and then than waste time on what they see as pointless litigation, even though the law says that all the Emperor's subjects have the right to a fair and just trial. One of the most flagrant violators of the law is Dorius Otton, the commander of our province's military. You've encountered him before, haven't you? That Arknian nobleman is a notorious duelist. Anyone who crosses his path risks insulting his honour. His sword has ended the lives of many human nobles, not to mention all the commoners who have been unlucky enough to run afoul of him when he was bored. Surely you realize, Brante, that we are the only ones who can protect those people. The lowborn lot forbids a commoner to arm himself, and even those who would rather defy their lot have no chance against Dorius Otton, one of the most skilled Arcanian sword masters. Otton cannot be allowed to commit murder with impunity. We have to stop him, and all the others who act as he does. Imperial law must prevail over their barbarous traditions. But as of now, I have no authority to put Otton on trial. Our province still abides by the old traditions, and humans are powerless against the dynastic power of the Arcanian aristocracy. Putting an Arcanian on trial for his crimes would be unthinkable at best. We have to work to gradually change this, Brante, but I need you as an ally. I'm hoping that if I get to 20 Valor, I'll be able to just challenge him to a duel and kill him myself. Because it specifies that when you get to 20, the reason why all the 20s are kept as like their own little thing is because it gives you a chance once in your lifetime to do something really special. I'm hoping the really special thing I can do is like kill the Arcanian, kill the superpowered man. First stream I've seen of this, what has happened so far? That is quite hard to say. We are living as a man, born into a low-ranking noble family, and we are trying to grow up. We have been a child, we have gone to school, we have been to college, and now we are a judge. And we are trying to stop a commoner uprising from breaking out against the tyrannical nobles, and do the reforms through, you know, the law and order way, or just crush the rebellion in general and become a good noble ourselves. Ideally, we would become a high-ranking noble and peacefully avert a bloody revolution, but that seems unlikely. You're a bad guy. Depends on what we want to do. I mean, we're literally talking with this guy about trying to imprison a high-ranking noble because he's a fucking murderer. What we have to do is strengthen the power of Imperial law in Magra so that eventually everyone will respect the law, from humble beggars to highborn Arcanians. We must show everyone that the law is not a noble instrument of oppression against the common folk. Like the divine law, Imperial law must stand above all, with no regard for birth, rank or title. Well, our dad was a nobleman, our mum was a commoner, so we're sort of splitting the difference here. This is why I have decided to address you today, Pimp Brante. Side with the law, side with your father and myself. Side with justice in every case always, no matter who stands trial before you, be they loaded commoner or noble elite. With enough precedents, we will put an end to highborn tyranny and ensure that the law is respected throughout the province. I could put it on YouTube if you want. There's no copyrighted music or anything on them. But I must warn you, even here at the prefecture, I am not all powerful. Many judges oppose my point of view. Not openly, at least not yet, but I am certain they will work against us in the shadows. Now, Brante, what is your answer? Are you ready to side with me and change our province for the better? Are you prepared to support me against the high-handed gentry and defend the common folk from the likes of Dorius Otton? We don't need the willpower. This might come in handy. I'll side with Elborn, I think. And I don't think it will ever come to pass where we actually have to catch this in. So it's just going to be 2 free relationship points, which is always good with your boss. You're not energetically determined to support Elborn and bring nobles and Arcanians under the rule of Imperial law. You realise the risks, but for the future of the Empire and its subjects, you're willing to face them. You see the promise with a handshake. The prefect leans back in his big chair and points at the glass full of wine.
I never doubted you, Brante. With your potential and useful zeal, nothing will stop us. And now a toast to the triumph of law in Magra. The glasses clink melodically. The prefect takes a sip and puts the glass down to instruct you further. Remember to be cautious. Between the powerful nobles and many other judges at the prefecture, there will be no shortage of enemies on this path. There will be times when I will be unable to help you. My own position is too unstable as it is, so please do not draw too much of their ire. Letting their wrath reach you is the last thing I want. Last but not least, we mustn't be hasty. If you move too fast and enforce the law against the nobles too soon, they might take up their swords, as they have before. We have to prevent an uprising and avert bloodshed. The Arknians are basically like elves. They're blue, and they are better than humans at basically everything. And they're all like super nobles. You've got Arknians at the top. You've got like Arknians up here. Then you've got nobles. Then you've got rich commoners, and then you've got poor commoners. At all times be just, but also wise and alert. I'm glad to see you on the side of justice. I'm counting on you, and you can count on me in return, Pimp Brante. May luck be with you in service to the Empire. Turn to your office, your desk covered with endless paperwork as always. First glance, nothing has changed, but now you realise a great and important cause working quietly behind your daily grind. Deep in thought, you sit at the desk once again. What fate awaits you in service to this cause? Yep. Promise to support him in his fight against the tyranny of the nobility. The nobility that we are simultaneously trying to become part of. Night is falling over Anziot. The stifling heat gives way to an eagerly anticipated freshness. After a day at work, you stroll home at a leisurely pace. You turn down a side street that you have known since you were a little boy. It is as if your legs are acting of their own accord, bringing you to the place of your childhood play, the remnants of the wooden fort. So much has changed since the days when you used to play here with your little friends. Engrossed in your memories, at first you fail to notice that you are not alone here. A tall figure in the uniform of a Legion officer approaches you. You see unruly brown hair and a twinkle in his eye. It is Thomas. This is our, best bro from childhood. Now that's a surprise. What was his voice? Oh, that's a surprise. Ah, Brante. Fancy running into you at the moment. I'm back in town. Childhood friend puts his arms around you. Our battalion got transferred here recently. We're under the command of the Magra Legion now. I'm keeping the peace and maintaining order in my very own province. I've changed his voice 5 times in the last sentence alone. Well, why don't we catch up? Let me buy you dinner. We'll have a little chat. Remember the old days. Thomas cuts himself short. You notice how much older he looks. His face has become sharper and rougher, and his eyes are filled with exhaustion rather than the usual mischievous sparkle. I should warn you though, Pimp. I ain't the best company nowadays. I've managed to get myself some powerful enemies already. I'm a friend who could taint your good name. So if you'd rather not be seen with me, well, I understand. The smile on his face starts to fade. Ah! Oh, we literally can't walk away. Okay, well, I don't really want to sacrifice any more reputation, but we literally cannot walk away from this. So, let's go have dinner with our mate. So, you haven't forgotten your old friend, Brante? That's the way it ought to be. Well, come on then. You go to a tavern on these very streets along the way. You choose a table in the far corner of the tavern. Thomas orders a bottle of good wine and some food. You talk about your latest case, about your first years back in Anziot. You share family news, your quest to become nobles of the sword, the quarrels between your elder brother and sister, your mother's health. Thomas nods with concern. Yeah, we've got too much willpower at the moment. It's not helping. Sounds like you always had some tough times. Your family has always been different. Mine, on the other hand, is the same as it ever was. My pa is always in his workshop and my ma's always doing chores. But look at me. I came home a service class nobleman. Though it doesn't bring me much joy anymore. Thomas is suddenly grim. You ask your old friend to share his troubles with you. He quickly glances around the room and lowers his voice. Well, I'm a captain in the Magra Legion now, and who's our commander? His Excellency Dorius Otton. That's right, I serve on the very same Archaean whose toes I stepped on back in the Turner, and you better believe he remembers me. I'm afraid things are going to end real bad. But hey, I'll figure it out somehow. Don't trouble yourself over it. Apart from that, well, it's the usual service. We impose order in uppity towns and villages, protect the province, that sort of thing. And we run drills all day long, obviously. If only you knew how sick I am of them barracks, Pimp. I thought about starting a family. My ma keeps telling me to find a nice girl to marry. She says it's high time I got itched. It's completely dark and you're still talking. Finally, Thomas remembers that his parents are waiting for him. You get up from the table, leaving some dirty dishes and quite a few empty bottles behind. On your way, you catch a glimpse of a nondescript figure following you to the door. As you walk alongside Thomas through your home neighbourhood, you keep glancing over your shoulder, but the shadow that was following you has disappeared. You reach your street and stop for a while in the semi-darkness between your family homes, just as you used to all those years ago. Bah, Brante. I hardly ever come to Anziot these days. Our battalion is always on the march all over the province. But twins willing, we'll see each other again real soon. You advise your friend to safeguard his every life. Oh yeah, that's another thing. You get to die 4 times for some reason in this world. Because willpower only goes up to 30. And we already have 25. So the extra 5 willpower we got from that has just gone to waste. Your first year at the prefecture has come to an end. You are not a young student anymore. You now know that a judge's trade means so much more than knowing the law and carrying it out. Resolving a litigation of any importance requires striking a balance between the code of law, high society's opinions, and the whims of the provincial powers that be. Your second year is beginning, and it feels much tougher already. Trampled by nobles, the commoners seek help, and so they turn to the law. They turn to you. The carriage takes you through the silver district of Anziot. It's early morning, and you've just received a letter bearing the seal of the city hall. Remy Elverman, the magistrate of Magra himself, wishes to see you at once. The mere sight of the magistrate's invitation is enough to make you scowl. This is no doubt about your newest case regarding the Quorum Gazette, which may spell trouble for everyone involved. A provincial legislator, the lesser quorum governs the volume and distribution of taxes in Magra. After a new law created by the Emperor's own brother, Cornelius Tempest, several years ago, commoners of considerable wealth were granted the representation in the quorum on par with the nobility, thus forming the lesser quorum. Now the representatives of the lowly estate have founded a newspaper of their own, and this Quorum Gazette, distributed all across Anziot, fervently argues for commoners' rights in provincial governance. The man behind the newspaper is Mayor Egmont, a well-off industrialist and owner of several silver mines, and it was his article and his demands that brought about this litigation. You literally die. I don't mean you fail, I mean you literally die. You literally have 3 lesser deaths, and the gods put you back in your body before your final death. Like that's just how this world is. Everyone does it. Like, we died this time because my grandfather went mad in his old age and set the house on fire with the entire family in it. They're not like restarts, they are literally, like, when we did die, we actually got a load of stats, so I'm actually tempted, I'd be tempted to take the next death that comes up. Addresses the Imperial Overseer Gaius Tempest directly. We demand that Sir Overseer Gaius Tempest ceases habitual disregard for our meetings. From our Emperor Uther II, we receive the lawful right to assemble and sit in the lesser quorum, and we say to the Overseer, our voice must be heard, our message must be accepted. The carriage stops in a square by a luxurious building. This is a city hall where Imperial officials manage all domestic and economic matters of the Anziot. You are escorted up a long winding staircase to the door of the magistrate's office. You now stand before Remy Elverman. The magistrate maintains a haughty bearing in spite of his venerable age.
His face bears the sharp, proud features so common amongst the old aristocracy. Okay, what voice does this have? Yes, Judge. Yes, Sir Judge. Yes, Sir Judge. You are from the Brante family, I believe. I appreciate your prompt arrival. I'd rather not waste your time and get right down to business. The matter for which I called you here is urgent indeed. I gotta be honest, I was going for more of a Severus Snape vibe, but I kind of missed wildly, and I'm just gonna roll with it. You are judging a case against a newspaper by the lesser quorum, are you not? I have had a torrent of complaints about it from the most vulnerable members of the quorum. They say Mayor Egmont has insulted Gaius Tempest, our overseer, and an Archnean from the Emperor's own great dynasty. And I say they're absolutely right. The Empire gave those uppity commoners a hand in managing the province's very well-being, which is already a violation of their lowly lot. But no, that wasn't enough for them, it seems. You earned the mantle only recently, Sir Brante, but you must realise that this is an affront to the honour of the entire nobility. I expect you to do your duty as a judge and immediately find a pretext for shutting down their pathetic gazette. Elbon, your prefect, might think otherwise. However, Sir Brante, if you exercise enough wisdom and cunning, I am certain you will realise which position is most beneficial to you. With your youth and potential, it'll do you good to have powerful friends on your side. I'm sure you will reach the only appropriate and just verdict when closing this case, and I hope you will be duly judicious. For now, farewell. He wants us to shut down a newspaper that's insulting one of the nobles by saying, hey, stop being evil. Return to the prefecture lost in thought. Sir Elverman is right. Your word is all it will take to shut the lesser quorum newspaper down. The judge and the nobleman, you do not even need a reason. The people running the Gazette are mere commoners, no matter how wealthy they may be. There is no breach of law, however. Mayor Egmont's article simply requested that the overseer of Magra hear what the lesser quorum has to say. You can reject the nobility's complaints and thus show the commoners they may rely on the prefecture's justice, but Sir Elverman and many fellow judges will be outraged. Father learns that the case has been assigned to you, he visits you and offers some advice. You're in quite a predicament now, son. If you try and appease one party, the other will be furious. Wouldn't you rather see if there's any way you could make peace between them? We could host a party at our estate and invite both Mayor Egmont and the noble elders from the quorum. We have no money. If you are successful at diffusing the quarrel, no one would object if you decide to legitimise the quorum for Gazette. Even Elverman won't be against it if the nobles stop complaining. However, Father is not your only visitor of note that day. Shortly after the door closes behind him, the familiar face of Judge Carlo Fockengraben appears in your office. He looks around cautiously before speaking his mind. I hear you've been ordered to deal with a newspaper run by wealthy commoners. It's a complicated case indeed, if you ask me. Work like that deserves to be rewarded. Why not make the most of it? You're quite close with Prefect Elborn, are you not? Almost related, as it were. What if you were to shut down the paper and seize their printing press? All it would take is their Prefect's signature. My friends amongst the quorum nobles, why, they could use a Gazette of their own. I would be delighted to help you put that printing press in good hands. Just think of it. You would shut down a subversive periodical and help our esteemed nobles spread their message, all while earning a lucrative reward for your efforts. It's quite a coup, really. Everyone wins. Do think on it, Brante. The nobles can hurt me. The nobles definitely can hurt me. I literally don't have the... I don't have the diplomacy to do this. I'm not good at diplomacy. Judges need to be good at two things. Diplomacy and duels. And I'm really, really good at duels, but I'm not that good at diplomacy. Like, why am I not in the army somewhere? Why do I keep doing this? Who let me make decisions? Okay, seize that. We lose a lot of relationship with our boss, which is not going to be good. We lose career, we lose justice. We gain a measly 1 wealth and 1 rep, which is actually pretty good. We need to get up to 8 reputation and 5 wealth to become proper nobles of the sword. I wish there was just always an option to just, like, stab our way out of the... Well, I mean, we're very good speaking, but apparently that's not useful for judges, that's only for inquisitors. And we're very good at scheming, but that's not good for judges either. That's only good for conspirators. These are the 2 judge skills, and we're not good at negotiations. We just like to punch things. I have to shut down the Gazette. I can't not do it. I'm not gonna make it if I do. Where is it? Up here. We want... need reputation, we need wealth badly. We also need 1 more unity to get our mother to stop being sick. If we can just figure out what unite the family refers to. It doesn't mean getting it all the way up there to 10, I don't think. Then we could figure something else out about I've got a lot of things to consider here. I'm sorry, commoners, but I'm afraid you're going to have to take the L here. Appear of the papers as you write your verdict. Published by commoners, the new paper in question has demonstrated insolence in addressing the overseer of Magra, who represents the Imperial Tempest dynasty. This alone is reason enough to end the existence of Quorum Gazette once and for all. I mean, yeah, I'm very much sword go swoosh. The newspaper's owner, Mayor Egmont, soon hears of your rule and comes to the prefecture in person. He looks almost like a nobleman. Egmont is well groomed and wears expensive clothing, only a wealthy industrialist could afford. Nevertheless, his rough manner of speaking and boorish posture betray his humble origins. Egmont leans menacingly over your desk, fuming with rage. Your Honor, there wasn't a single word of insolence against Imperial rule, or any slander against the Tempests in my article, and you know it just as well as I do. Doesn't the common estate deserve justice in court? Don't we have the right to be heard? You tell him coldly that the newspaper has been deemed illegal and the commoner, Mayor Egmont, must pay a fine to the city hall. Your judgment is final and without appeal. So that's how it is. I'll pay. I have the money, as you surely know. But you, Your Honor, how long have you been a noble yourself? Do you already forget how it feels to be under somebody else's thumb all the time? Let me tell you, the times are changing. He won't be silenced so easily. Egmont slams the door behind him as he leaves. His war for the rights of the lowly estate are far from over. Yeah. Something else I've just considered. The last chapter is the revolt. So the common people are going to rise up. We are kind of might be best to not piss them off too much. On the other hand, when the revolt happens, we get to use our valor, and we can hopefully just win every roll with that, and we'll be on the winning side. So maybe it doesn't matter. I don't know.
Your honourable service and righteous verdict are appreciated. No longer will the lowborn waste of paper slandering their noble masters. I was right to put my faith in you. Rest assured, I will mention you most favourably at future noble gatherings. Keep up the good work, Judge Brante.
No, we're still not lawless. It's not great. Well, with my valor skill, I'm hoping that whatever side I'm on in the revolution is just going to be the one that wins. Unfortunately, yeah, because this also affects my ability to command troops, which is the other role of judge. As nobles, we are also expected to command armies when the need arises. So we're going to suffer a bit in peacetime, but when we get to the war part of the game, I'm going to be really strong. And hopefully, that way, I can just fight my way to the top. Hopefully. Today is a big day for the Brante family, the day your family line started. The day when you remember all your ancestors. Tonight, everyone who bears the name Brante must descend to the family crypt to keep vigil by the tombs. This is a time to surrender yourself to your ancestors and hear their will. The entire family prepares for the event in silence. Stefan has been choosing his apparel since morning, praying anxiously under his breath all the while. The hair has a special place in the family vigil. Even Mother is planning to go with you, though Father tries to talk her out of it. Lydia, I'd beg of you stay home. You're far too weak for an all-night vigil in the crypt. Gloria, would you be so kind as to stay with your mother since you cannot join us anyway? As you wish, Sir Robert. The late Sir Gregor would only be enraged to see Mother there. We all remember how their last encounter turned out. So yeah, okay, family history lesson. This was our grandfather. He was the first guy in the family to achieve a noble title. But he was also a massive dick, which is how he did it. He gave birth to Robert, who, went on to follow his father's footsteps, become a judge, but was less of a dick. He married up first with Amelia Elborn, who was a real noble, who was like a super noble, and had Stefan, who's my older brother. But then Amelia died, and then he married Lydia, who was a commoner. And worse than that, was a commoner who already had a daughter. She had a daughter because a nobleman raped her, which is why she turned up to court and met Robert. She fell in love with Robert because he actually, upheld the law and punished the noble for it, I think. I forget if that's actually what happened or if he just supported her through it. They got married, and then they had me and Nathan, my younger brother. So, me and Nathan... So, Stefan was born noble, Gloria was born commoner, me and Nathan were born commoners, but I rose to be a noble by becoming a judge, whereas Nathan has just been useless his entire time and is still a commoner. And we are going to go stand over this arsehole's grave while his ghost, gives us a lecture on how shit we are. Father nods curtly, avoiding Gloria's gaze, but at the moment your attention is drawn to a noise in the foyer. Nathan staggers through the door, stumbling over his own feet. He reeks of cheap wine and filth. I'm not late, am I? Everyone gazes at him in consternation. Nathan almost falls into Mother's and Gloria's arms. Distressed, they fuss all over him. Stefan eyes his youngest brother coldly. I expected nothing more of you, Nathan. Why even speak of duty to your family when you can't even manage to live by the commoner's lot? Go lie down in the pantry and stay out of our sight. Father, Pimp, it's time. Let's go. Go surreal? Yeah, go surreal. I mean, well, when our grandfather died and we went to his funeral, we performed a weird ritual where we had to cut ourselves and bleed into his coffin, and we asked if it was okay to do that, and his ghost came out and said yes. So, you know, we weren't the only ones to see the ghost either. So apparently ghosts are real. Alongside Father and Stefan, you descend into the family crypt. You cannot help but remember paying your last respects to your grandfather 9 years ago. You light the lamps. Dim, eerie flames illuminate the shrine. In the middle of this stands a magnificent stone tomb containing the long-decayed remains of Gregor Brante. You say your place is rather crooked now, like I've begun. First, your ancestors remain silent. Each of you have left with your own thoughts. Then a low murmur passes around you. The shadows in the corners of the room deepen. The voices grow stronger. You know that the ancestors of Gregor Brandt, long-forgotten commoners who you never knew, are trying to talk to you. But now a memory of them has come to life in the darkness of the crypt. They are pleading for something, demanding it of you, calling out to you, screaming. Finally, you all hear that painfully familiar, deep, imperious voice echo from the far end of the chamber. Right, now, I don't remember what his voice was. It's been a long time since I've seen you all. I hope you bear good tidings. All this time I've been waiting for you to fulfill my mission. Remember, as long as I am in your blood, I will give you no peace. I did not have my family ennobled just to see our line cut short. Our blood tide must join the grand flow of the empire, and then each of my descendants will inherit nobility forever and ever. But I do not see any of you before my tomb. Where are you hiding? Where is the head of our family, the man who will speak to me? Where is the man who will heed my will? Father rises from his knees and makes his way towards grandfather's stone tomb, the source of that booming voice. But Stefan suddenly pushes him out of the way. Father takes an indignant step forward, but Stefan firmly bars away. Stop it, Stefan! You are my heir, but you are not the head of this family. Father, it is not you that Sir Gregor is addressing. Owning the nobility of the sword is my duty to him. He has long forsaken any hope of seeing you achieve it. You must understand that I am the one who fulfill that duty. Stefan does not let him pass. Father breathes heavily in anger. You can all feel the frantic beating of both their hearts resonating somewhere within you. Both your father and brother seem to have forgotten that you were there too. Even the restless voices of your ancestors have grown hushed, waiting for the outcome of this confrontation. Oh, I can piss off everyone! Oh, very tempting, very, very tempting. Does get me that extra point of valor. We don't want to lose. We don't want to lose Unity, and we don't like Stefan. I think we go for this. As tempting as this option would be. Yeah, most of the valor is wasted. And it literally just pisses off everyone except the dead racist aristocrat who... So yeah, I'm siding with the father. Because, you know, obviously, you block Stefan's way. Your ponderous voice fills the dark crypt. You demand that your brother step back. The head of your family is your father, Robert Brante, and so it will be as long as he lives. Could your brother have forgotten that it's part of the noble lot to acknowledge and honour seniority? Your father is a man who must hear and will accept your ancestors' will. Stefan tries to maintain his composure, but even in the dark you can see his face twitch. Brother, you don't understand. I'm not denying father's seniority, but I am the man who bears this duty to our grandfather. I cannot remain a mere witness while the future of our blood tide runs through our fingers. You resolutely push your brother to one side. Whether he wants to or not, he will give way to the head of the family. Father catches his breath and approaches grandfather's tomb. Yeah, I mean, my brother's calling us good. God damn it, he was right as well. So, it's you, Robert. Have you come to disappoint me yet again? Stefan is right. I have not put my hopes in you for quite some time. If anyone will lead the Brante family to glory, it will be my grandson. Stefan clenches his fist and whispers something to himself. I am doing my utmost, father. We are closer to becoming nobles of the sword than ever. The overseer looks upon us with favour. Just a couple more years and your dream will come true. This must be your dream too, Robert. But you still cater to your foundlings, Lydia and Gloria, risking a permanent blemish upon the Brante name. My name! Dead though I may be, my will lives on. Heed it at last and get rid of that trollop Gloria, and devote yourself to your true family. Otherwise, you will lead our family to shame and ruin. Father hesitates for a moment. No, Father, this is impossible. Even if I must defy your will, I am responsible for Gloria. My honor and my conscience will not allow me to do what you demand. You must accept this, or keep on fighting me for all eternity. The voice of your deceased ancestor fades away. He seems to have left this realm, but then his voice suddenly booms from the other side of the crypt. Stefan! You are heir to this family. Your duty by blood is to earn us a place in eternity. Do not take after your spineless father. Do what must be done. Cleanse our family of wickedness. Stefan is shivering. He replies in an unsteady voice. But, Gloria, I can't. Stefan checks himself. I will do my duty to my family, Sir Gregor. Whatever the price, I will pay it. Crix is completely silent once more. You are alone again. You see his tears glistening off Stefan's face. Without uttering a word, he goes outside. Father clasps his arm firmly around you. You feel him let out a sigh of sorrow and relief. The vigil is over. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got like 6 more years left. Just a few days into the year, Mayor Egmont, chairman of the Lesser Quorum and owner of several silver mines, makes a speech that caused quite a stir in the province. Though a commoner, Egmont had the gall to demand that the Magran authorities both enforce and obey imperial law. The authorities? Obeying the law? What's the world coming to? What's the use of the imperial laws if they aren't enforced as they should be? That was his voice. It was very churchy, and it was... Oh, even today, the nobleman who gets up on the wrong side of the bed can draw his sword and run a commoner through with impunity. These gentlemen may be our rulers, but does that mean they can defy the Emperor's will? Sir Elborn has been appointed to enforce the rule of law in Magra. How come the prefect doesn't see this? We commoners aren't trying to seize a noble lot and take over the province, but the rule of tradition is a thing of the past. This is the age of justice. We may not all be equal in its eyes, but even the nobles and clergy must obey the law. The Magran aristocracy is furious with Egmont and demands that he be silenced, but the rich industrialist has too much money and too many connections to be dealt with so easily. We hear more and more rumours about secret societies of commoners appearing in the city, plotting against noble rule. The gentry fears that Egmont and his peers might be behind this, but they have no proof, at least for now. Father Leonard, abbot of the Temple of the Silver Tree and leader of the New Believers, supports Egmont and has spoken publicly in his favour. Oh yes, we've also got a religious schism to handle. I'm running out of voices as well. I ran out of voices about like 5 minutes into playing the game, but that hasn't stopped me so far. The twins themselves entrusted the noble estate with the right to rule over the common folk, but rulers must also care for their subjects. The old faith is mistaken. No commoner should ever be forced to suffer. It is for this very reason that the imperial law exists. It is there to ease the people's suffering. May those laws be duly enforced, and may they serve all the people of the Empire. Well, I keep turning the music down, and it keeps on being too loud. It's another day at the prefecture. A secretary peeks into your office with a message from the prefect. Because most of the time the music's really quiet, but when it gets to one of those pages, it just jumps up massively because it's big and epic and not built for streaming where you have to narrate everything. Anyway, we got a new case. Oh, there's a graceful figure sitting across from your immediate superior, none other than Octavia Milliandis. After all the times you have met her in the capital, you expected the Archduke's daughter to be brilliantly lavishly dressed, but her appearance today is modest and formal, with a high-necked dress and strict bun. However, her demure attire only serves to emphasize her role as a distinguished visitor to the prefecture. You bow to the prefect and the noble Archnean lady. Octavia offers you a curt greeting, then returns to the conversation you have interrupted. This matter can brook no delay, Baron Elborn. The young judge may well wait outside. Nonetheless, Sir Elborn insists that you come in and take a seat. Worry not, Brante, you aren't interrupting at all. Lady Milanidas, I was scheduled to meet Sir Brante at this very hour. I regret to inform you that your visit was perhaps somewhat unfortunately timed. Octavia rises from the soft high-backed chair. The Archnean lady now stands tall, elegant, and indignant. You are out of line, Sir Elbron. Archduke Melanidas has graced you with a representative from his dynasty, and you will listen to what I have to say this instant. The Archduke has expressed concern over your manner of government at the prefecture. You've always been headstrong and eager to infringe upon the freedoms of your own noble estate, but now it appears you find it acceptable to conduct proceedings against our own loyal subjects. Our dynasty has already seen many loyal nobles of the sword arrested or faced with punishment in court. Where will this lead? Do you mean to enforce your lowly laws against us Archneans? Do not forget that those laws were written to keep low-born humans in check. Our lives have always been governed by noble honour and tradition, as well as the blood tide that is our heritage. Our only justice is the court of honour. The only rule above us is that of our sovereign, the Emperor and the twins. Our only duty is to our kin and our forefathers. My ancestor Charles Melanidas himself granted the boon of nobility to you humans. It would be most unwise to make me regret his decision of old. In the name of Archduke Melanidas, I demand that you end any and all proceedings against our subjects at once. Okay, so, bit of a history lesson here. Where is she? This person is this person's daughter. This person is in charge of, like, the whole place we live. We don't know who this one is. He's just here, apparently. But anyway, she is one of our potential love interests that I would quite like to be with because she's really hot. And also really rich. And really powerful. So that would be the good ending. But it might come at the cost of simping. Which is, you know, questionable. But anyway, they are now having their power taken away from them. And this guy works for them. He's like their commander of their forces. And he's a right arsehole. But basically, the Melanidas family are trying to stop people from getting more noble privileges. Like, they're trying to stop humans from rising up. Which is ironic because they're descended from an older nobleman who rebelled in order to make humans noble in the first place. Because it used to be that it was just the elves who got nobled. But they're like great-great-grandfather or whatever. Literally, like, fought a rebellion in order to make the humans nobleable. Which he lost, but humans were allowed to keep their rights. And the right to become noble. Anyway. So it's just a bit of dramatic irony. Not dramatic irony, because everyone's aware of it. Just regular irony, I think. Sir Elborn acknowledges Lady Octavia's vehement speech with a calm smile and nothing else. He shows no trepidation, no tremor, nor fear, even though the lady across from him represents one of the Empire's mightiest dynasties. Lady Melanidas, the twins have graced the blessed Archinian lineage with a boon of long life. The world can be quick to change at times. The laws of the Empire now govern the nobles of the mantle, and even the nobles of the sword, along with a common estate. This particular change is not as recent as it might seem. The laws of the Empire are the decrees of the Emperor himself, the twins' chosen supreme sovereign. His laws are his will, which is, as you said yourself, the only rule above us, and that means all of us, from a highborn Archnean to the lowliest commoner. Presently, the Emperor's representative in our province is Overseer Gaius Tempest. Like this prefecture in its entirety, I am simply obeying the Overseer's will and the laws of the Empire. Then pray tell me, Baron Elborn, who is your own sovereign and protector? He is none other than my father, Archduke Melanidas. You swore him an oath of fealty and vassalage. It is your duty to follow his word and will, or do you wish for the Archduke himself to address you directly? I tell you, cease this harassment of our loyal noble subjects at once. I will not leave until this order is carried out. Why, my Lady Melanidas, I'm afraid this is quite impossible. As a servant of the Empire and Imperial Overseer Gaius Tempest, it is my duty to enforce the law. However, if you excuse me, Sir Brante and I have urgent matters to discuss. The gaze of the Archduke's daughter is locked. The prefects in a silent struggle, each expects the other to back down first, but then Octavia suddenly turns towards you.
But I believe the young judge has more in him than blind obedience. Surely you are able to distinguish a rightful claimant from a threat to the province, are you not? I think I'm going to use the fact that I won to my advantage for once. I got the willpower, going to spend it. You start by reaffirming her position. Truly, the Archduke has every right to look after his noble subjects. You would never expect an ancient dynasty to abandon the loyal nobles to your fate. Having said that, you shower the Archduke and his noble dynasty with praise, including his brilliant progeny who is dying to grace the prefect's office with a visit. You casually mention your encounter with Lady Octavia at the fencing tournament in Eterna. I have to admit, Brante, for a human, you fought valiantly indeed. I've witnessed some of the best Arcanian swordmasters at work, and yet your fighting piqued my curiosity. There's a look of relief on Sir Elborn's face as he watches you converse. Still, you return to Octavia's demands. After all, she did not come here for small talk. The Archduke's words carry great weight, but sadly, Sir Elborn has no power to decide the matter. After all, he is but a humble servant of the Emperor. Perhaps it would be more prudent to take this matter to the Emperor's overseer, Gaius Tempus, who is also an Arcanian of noble lineage. Just like a moment ago, Octavia winces at the mention of Gaius Tempus. The Emperor's brother took away her noble family's right to represent imperial authority in the province of Magra. Still, the Arcanian lady considers your words well before speaking again. To a certain extent, you are right, Pimp Brante. I cannot help but admit it. We Arcanians ought to avoid involving humans in matters of supreme authority. It is still my wish and intention that Sir Elborn presents us with an answer, but if he absolutely must learn the will of Gaius Tempus beforehand, then so be it. But do not tarry too long with your answer, or you risk angering my father. Octavia rises elegantly from her seat. Before she leaves the prefect's office, her eyes rest on you for a moment. She bats her eyes charmingly and addresses you with a gentle smile, and then she is gone. Elborn pats you on the shoulder, content with the outcome of the interview. I don't think you can confuse basic manners with simping. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I never expected you to be acquainted with Octavia Milanidas. My thanks, Brante. You brought me some time. If you hadn't intervened just now, I'd have had to defy the law and end all cases against nobles who serve the Archduke. We'll see what the overseer says about this now. Archduke Milanidas is testing the prefecture with his daughter. Otherwise, he'd have asked me to visit his palace personally. He's showing caution, which means we still stand strong, at the least for now. We will continue our service to the law without regard for the outmoded ways of the past. But I digress. This is high politics, and the prefecture still has plenty of cases to resolve. Let's get back to our work, shall we? With that, Elborn hands you a new case file. You thank the Baron and head to your office to study it properly. It's time to get back to work. Unfortunately, we don't increase anything with Octavia. And I need to get some water. So, the repercussions of your most recent encounter with the Archduke's daughter Octavia soon manifest themselves. Letter bearing the seal of the great dynasty of Milanidas arrives the next day. Inside the envelope you find an invitation to Castle Serpenwerder, the Archduke's residence. Visiting the Archduke of Magra himself is a great honour. Declining such an invitation would be an insult of colossal magnitude. Immediately purchase a new doublet in the latest fashion and ask father to lend you a precious family brooch. Or brooch. I'm honestly not sure how that word's pronounced. It depicts the Brante family crest, and the leaves of the oak branch are made of tiny emeralds. Octavia should find it to her liking. Your family cannot help but notice your preparations. Mother watches nervously as you make sure everything is ready for your journey. This odd invitation has me worried, my son. Be careful in the Archduke's castle. You're still of low-born origin. Arcanian attention spells danger to people like us every time. Remember not to displease them, or the Melanidases will grind our family into dust. Come early morning, the carriage takes you away from Bordeaux's Van Yacht. It takes you a full day to reach Serpenwerder along the dusty, sun-scorched high road. While on the road, you read notes on Arcanian traditions and rules of etiquette again and again. To preserve your family's honour, you must make the best possible impression. The provincial powers that be will be watching your every step, and so will Octavia, with her cunning grin. Only as the sun is about to set do you manage to spot a dark, colossal shape of Castle Serpenwerder, a towering fortification of jet-black stone spread across a peak looming over the bed of a long-gone river. The carriage climbs the narrow serpentine road to the castle gates. Soldiers of the Archduke's Guard approach you, and you present them with the invitation. The guards eye you with suspicion, but give the signal to open the gate. You are now inside the walls of the Archduke's castle. You expected to see many carriages of other guests beyond the gate, but the courtyard is strangely empty. The guards show you to a servant who guides you to a room reserved for guests and leaves you there to wait. The servant soon returns, and you follow him through the dimly lit corridors of Serpenwerder, lavishly adorned with silver emeralds and weapons of war. The castle is silent. There is no noise, no music. It seems completely uninhabited. The sound of your footsteps is smothered by the soft velvet beneath your feet. A servant stops in front of a pair of massive doors made of black wood. This is your destination, he gestures silently. You enter an enormous room. Its walls covered in portraits and ancestral relics. In the very centre of the room is a towering throne carved of black wood. Why is the title Passion? Upon the throne you see the delicate silhouette of Octavia Melanidas, clad in a black velvet dress, embroidered in silver. With a commanding approach, the Arcanian lady bids you approach. Well, a commanding gesture, the Arcanian, whatever, you know what I mean. Ah, you're here at last. Are you surprised, Pimp? How odd. You didn't think my father would actually summon you to an Arcanian castle, did you? Or are you truly that naive? How sweet of you. No, it was I who summoned you here. You're all alone in the castle. Portraits cover the walls, portraits of Arcanians with dark hair and jet black hair. Dark eyes and jet black hair. They all resemble birds of prey, and their eyes seem to watch you with contempt that makes you uneasy. Allow me to introduce you to my family. Family, this is a human by the name of Brante. What do you think of him, father? She casts a defiant glance at the portrait of the Archduke Melanidas, and she removes a glove from her hand and casts it as well. It hits the great Archduke right in the nose. Octavia laughs at that, and the tall walls and innumerable portraits echo her voice. Baffled, you ask the Lady Melanidas why she has summoned you. Because you have caught my attention. I noticed you, even when you were somewhat younger than you are now. And then I started seeing you again and again. I've caught myself thinking about you quite often, and so I've decided that I wish to possess you. Okay. You become my companion. Other humans will envy you, but no one will dare to cross you. My name will open any door you like. In return, you will satisfy my every whim, and I will do with you as I please. Oh no! What a tragedy! Octavia rises from the throne, the hem of her dress lifting up to reveal her elegant, slender leg. This is starting to get awkward to narrate. You know the history of the throne, yes? My ancestor, Char Melanidas, used to sit here during the rebellion of Magra. Can you imagine that? Char Melanidas made decisions that transformed the entire empire, all from this very seat. And now it's gathering dust in this vain, glorious art gallery of my father's. Now, come to me, human. Octavia waits for you to do her bidding. One does not argue with an Arcanian. Since the dawn of the Empire, they have taken whatever they wanted. If you refuse Octavia, daughter to the Archduke of Magra, you will insult her greatly. If you submit to this Arcanian woman, if you become her plaything, everyone will know you are in the good graces of Lady Melanidas herself. As a human, what more could you possibly dream of? You recall your chance encounters with her from the days of your youth to more recent times. What are your feelings for this exceptional Arcanian lady, and what does she truly want from you? You're willing to enter into a perilous romance with Octavia? Perhaps you could do it on your own terms, returning her affections while keeping your honour. Will she defy all the traditions of old for you and recognise you as her equal, even if only in secret? Octavia arches her back on her father's throne and waits for you, her slender hand beckoning you closer. Okay, reputation +1. Hey, we can do it! We don't have to be a simp. There I even... I nearly clicked that one by accident. Oh, okay, so we are moving up in the world. You give Octavia your answer, looking her straight in the eye. You have been in love with her ever since you were young, enchanted by her beauty and grace, every chance encounter a treasured memory, and you know that the feeling is mutual. To you, there is no greater honour than Lady Octavia's affection. You cannot sacrifice your honour as a nobleman for the sake of this love. You do not mean this as an insult. On the contrary, Lady Melanidas is far superior to you, it is true. Yet you, too, are of the noble estate, and you cannot accept humiliation, even if you must face the full extent of Melanidas's ire. You reciprocate Octavia's affection, not as an obedient plaything, but as a man and a noble. Chad move, Chad move. Your impassioned speech ends, and you steel yourself to face her wrath. To your surprise, Octavia seems lost in her thought, eyes downcast. Nobody denies me. I'm not used to this. You're a remarkable human indeed, Pimp Brante. I've noticed this ever since we first met. Your words echo in my heart. You do not follow the usual rules. Any other man would have been grovelling at my feet by now. Perhaps you can be my escape from this stifling, sickening world. So be it. I choose a human as my lover, and I care little for what the aristocracy of this twins-forsaken province has to say about it. I'll take this as far as I like. But you will be safer if our affair remains a secret to the world. Now come to me, my sweet human. You draw closer to Octavia on the throne. She reaches out for your face, caressing it gently and carefully, as though touching a human for the first time. A moment passes and suddenly her arms wrap around your neck and her legs lock around your torso. And I think we're going to skip the rest of that. So how do you like this feat of the great child Melanidas? Just a piece of wood. Don't you agree? Uncomfortable too, but luckily it's spacious enough for the two of us. Let's just skip the part. I'm not reading that. Let's just skip forward. It is time for you to leave, Pimp. Whatever. Let's just go. Let's just get out of here. When your family asks you about your visit to the Archduke, you evade the question. How was your... How was your trip to the Archduke's castle? Oh, it was fine. I just fucked his daughter on the throne and then left. Oh, you've stolen the heart of the most beautiful and highborn Arcanian lady of Magra. Only one nagging thought casts a shadow on your love. What will be the price for this insolence? Okay. You know, that's worth some willpower. Worth a bit of willpower. Also, wasn't our mother supposed to be healed by now? Mother recovers, unity over 8, willpower over 0. Unity over 8, willpower well over 0. Why isn't she well?
The home has been much more peaceful for the last year. The fights between Stefan and Gloria are not as fierce now. How long will this last? Your job takes up all your time. You see your parents' siblings less and less often. Sometimes you don't even know what they're doing while you deal with a constant stream of duties. This morning you head out on urgent business. You take one step out the gate and run into a uniformed gendarme. That's the equal to or over than. That's equal to or more than. That's what that sign means. It means equal to or more than. Anyway, Captain Leonard. Pimp Brante, your presence is requested at the prefecture dungeon. Taking it back, you ask what this is about. We have your brothers Stefan and Nathan Brante in a cell. They were arrested last night at the Steiner's Inn. They asked us to send for you. That's not going to be good. The cells in the prefecture dungeon are cold and damp. The guards lead you to the bars, and behind them you see Nathan huddled in the corner. The younger brother is unshaven, more dishevelled than usual, and reeking of rind and filth. Near the cell you see Stefan grimly sitting in a chair. You guess that the gendarmes thought it best not to put him in the same cell as his low-born brother. Upon seeing you, Nathan lets out a whimper, and Stefan cracks a bitter smile. The sheath on your brother's belt is empty. There you are at last, Pimp. Have a look at our younger brother. Yesterday he got drunk in the company of some dubious fellows. They are commoners, yet they dared to surrender to pleasure. They started a brawl, wrecked the inn, and harassed the waitresses. As soon as I heard, I rushed to save this drunkard from shame. Nathan cowers in the corner, horror-struck. I walked in and demanded that Nathan come home with me, but his cronies wouldn't let him go. That's not true. That's not true. You just grabbed me by the collar and dragged me after you. You nearly suffocated me. Shut your mouth, cur! So, brother, they seem to have some sort of sect. They shouted defamations against the twin gods, and one of them grabbed me by the arm. I was forced to skewer this heretic with my sword. I hope a lesser death will teach him never to lay his filthy paws on a nobleman. He was just trying to talk to you, Stefan. Silence! Then the gendarmes barged in, and here we are. I've been accused of an unlawful murder. Apparently the new laws allow killing of a commoner only if he attacks first or wields a weapon. They say that in the event of an insult, I'm supposed to file a complaint with the prefecture. So now they're going to seize my sword for a whole year. What a shame. And it's all your fault, Nathan. Stefan gives the bars a kick. Nathan covers his face with her hands in despair. Pimp, brother, you are our only hope. Get me my sword back and get us out of here. And fast. We have to bury this sword as deep as we can before anyone finds out. Save our family from shame. Okay, we ask Father for help. Reputation goes and unity goes down. Although the two like me more. Refuse to help. Reputation goes way down. Take them into the Inquisition we can't do. And I don't think I would anyway. I might. Blackmail the judge. Apparently you need a spy network for that. But use your authority, I think, is what we're going for. We're going to let justice go fuck itself. Wait, what? No. No, why are these all awful? These all suck. Can't I just leave them here? These are all terrible. Fuck it. I mean, in Stefan's defense, he has not broken the law, as far as I can see. Nathan, we should just fucking leave him there. But apparently we're covering the damages the inn has sustained, so I guess that's fair enough. But Your Honour, Sir Stefan ran that man right before our eyes. The law says the commoner, a heretic no less, dared to assault a born nobleman and grab his arm. Does Leonard claim to know the law better than Judge Brante? Remembering his position, the gendarme nods obediently and returns Stefan's confiscated sword. Look, I don't have full context, but it is actually quite reasonable that someone grabbing you on the arm while you're outnumbered and you have 5 people shouting at you could be interpreted as assault. And by their standards, that's attacking first. So, by the law of this land, I don't think Stefan's actually committed any crime. I knew I could count on you, Pimp. You aren't just my brother after all, but also a nobleman yourself. You know that honour is always paramount. But also, this is actually what the law says should happen. But okay, we'll just pretend that it isn't. Stefan sheaths his sword reverently as Nathan is let out of the cell. Honestly, you could keep Nathan. He's shit. The elder brother takes a younger boy by the scruff of the neck and pulls him to the door. Nathan staggers and shuffles along limply. You manage to conceal the disgraceful occurrence from all your relatives with the exception of Sir Elborn. The prefect is very displeased with your abuse of power, but needless to say, he does not order his nephew Stefan to be returned to his cell. It wasn't an abuse of power. From now on, there will be no more drinking bouts or other nocturnal exploits. Who are those rogues you befriended anyway? Stop shaming this family. If you're so worthless, at least let others go about their business in peace. Do you understand, you blockhead? Nathan remains silent, staring despondently somewhere above him. Nathan is shit. Nathan is so shit. He doesn't do anything. Like, I assumed he was going to become a priest, and then we'd have Stefan, who became a noble, who became like a noble of the sword and like judge and all that. We'd have one brother going down one route, going down the judge faction, then we'd have one brother going down the priest faction, and then we'd have our sister who was going to be revolutionary, and then we'd have like a family member in each section, in each major faction. He always carries around a fucking Bible and talks about theology, but he's just fucking useless. He doesn't do anything and he's a fucking idiot. And he only ever whines. I don't think I failed anything. There are a lot of times I didn't hang out with him. Maybe that is what stops him from becoming... Maybe if you pick all the events and build your relationship with him, then he like actually manages to become a priest. I don't know. That's probably the case, honestly. But still, he's a stupid piece of shit. But we're not in that world. We're in this world. And in this world, he's a stupid piece of shit who won't stop crying. Ah. Oh dear. You, the most reading verdict, seem to have convinced the nobles of their absolute impunity and complete rule over the lowborn estate. And now the commoners in every corner of the province grovel and scream as their landlords take and punish and humiliate. Any attempts to appeal to justice will not succeed. The judges reject all complaints against nobles without even reading them. Right, so I guess this is what we're doing then. Today there is a large gathering of people in the square in front of the prefecture. But this is no festivity, no celebration, no joyous occasion. This is a mob of commoners, and they've come to ask for justice. Many on their knees, begging, praying. Those with the loudest voices stand on tall barrels, screaming at the prefecture. Do you hear us, Sir Prefect? We ask for justice. We beg for protection. The tax is too high. We cannot pay it twice. Our families starve, but we must pay our last coin to the Duke and then the Overseer. Prefect Elborn watches the crowd through his window. Lost in thought, he knits his brow as he turns to face you. This is how a riot begins, Brante. The commoners are asking for justice now. If they don't get it, they will try force soon enough. Imagine what will happen if they bring torches next time. The noble lot is to rule, yes, but we must rule wisely and provide for those we rule over. Too many nobles think the law was written only for the common folk. Pains me to say it, but you seem to be among them, Brante. For fuck's sake, I shut down one newspaper! It's not my fault this place is such a shithole. But you seem wise enough, Sir Judge, so put your wisdom to use. Go outside and set things right. Something must be done about them before this mob turns into a stampede. Take Captain Leonard and his men and go to the square. You have to calm this people. They have to disperse before the noble militia notices them and reaches for their swords. And then there won't be any end to the bloodshed. Can't we buy some time and we will defuse the situation together? You're in the square. You stand on the steps of the prefecture, surrounded by gendarmes, searching for leaders of the mob. In the middle of the crowd, standing on a wooden crate, you see a woman dressed in trousers and a jacket gesticulating wildly. Oh, fuck off, Gloria! Truth and justice! Truth and justice! Gloria used to recite poetry like that when you were children, but she is not a couch in your home anymore. On a couch in your home anymore? Or did we literally used to sit on her? She now stands in the middle of a roiling human sea. She sees you and for a moment her voice trails off, but then she starts chanting to the crowd even louder. Give us the law! Give us the law! I do have speech. You're finally here, me lord. You're just Brante. We know you well. We know you quite well. We're looking for a way to help His Highness Gaius Tempest hear our pleas. The prefecture can't protect us, then His Highness is his only hope. Okay. Kill the ringleader. That is not gonna bear well. Grant their request. What happens if Korea goes to 2? Are we just immediately gonna hit another? Oh, but this gives us valor. Oh dear. Oh no. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. Shit. I kind of fucked myself here. Everything's spiraling. I think basically we might just commit. Do we just commit to like being an asshole noble and just like fucking get them out of the way? That means imprisoning our sister, which won't help our... And it loses us unity when I was so close. Like, I don't get it. I don't get why... Why has this not already happened? Like, I've got that. Do I have to have it at the time it appears, I guess? And I don't know what I do with this. I don't know what unite the family even means. It just says do it, and I don't know how. I need to unite the family to put the family at peace. And if I got that, then I could make Gloria Brante, and Mother would recover, and I thought everything would just work out well, and then I could focus on other stuff. But I just... What am I supposed to do? Like, definitely not that. We definitely at least do this one. Have the mob dispersed. Any attempts to pressure the authorities into action will lead to nothing but bloodshed, and you will not condone it. Everyone must be dispersed immediately. Those who continue to disturb the peace will be arrested. Are you going to arrest me too, Judge? Move the court to action. They order the gendarmes surge forward like bloodhounds, moving through the panic-stricken mob with their blackjacks. You're there giving orders, making sure no leader of this march escapes. You have them surrounded on their crates and barrels and bound and arrested. People start fleeing the square. I don't know what else we could have done in that situation. That's probably the best one. I'm trying to be moral. And I wanted to move justice up, but the justice keeps going down, and I don't really think I'm to blame for this. Like, maybe this one, but what else was I supposed to pick there? Have you forgotten you used to be lowborn too? You nobles, this is all your fault. You never listen to us. You squeeze us dry. I hate you. You try not to look your sister in the eye. Unsettled by the mob, the judges greet you as a victor. You were hard on the people, but you defended the prefecture and prevented a full-scale riot. Most of the rabble-rousers you had arrested are released before the day's end. It is Elborn's order. The prefect does not want to flame the people even more when tensions in the city are already running high. Freudman Schmidt leaves his cell and walks away, giving you a mockery of a bow. Behind him, out walks Gloria, her head hanging low. Father's arm is around her shoulder. He glances at you furiously as they walk past you in cold, bitter silence. No, hang on. Leon, justice started at 4, alright? That's it. It started at 4. Then I moved it up by giving someone... I ruled in favour of one of them. Of one of the commoners over a nobleman. That moved up to 5. We lost 1 from the choice we just made for the riot. We lost 1 from, like, saving our brother. But honestly, I don't think saving our brother should have cost us justice, since, like, that's easily, like, part of the law. I don't even remember where we lost the other one, to be honest. Where did we lose the other justice? We were at 4. We went up to 5. Yeah, we did the press. So then we did the press, the brother. That took us to 3. How'd we get to 2? Well, I didn't know that that would happen if I did. It wasn't listed as one of the events, so I didn't know it was going to happen. I genuinely can't remember where we lost another justice point. But hey, we got full valor. That's something. Most recent year's service at the prefecture has seen an increase in litigation and crimes against the church. More and more people are joining the ranks of the new faith in Anziot. The movement began with destitute beggars who had nothing to lose, but for years now, many well-off commoners and new nobles have been joining the fold. People say the leader of the new faith in Anziot is Father Lenart, the abbot of the temple at the Silver Tree. The city's leaders would love to expel him, but he is too highly regarded by the common folk. Complaints and cases of defiance of one's lot keep pouring in. Every day somebody is reported by their neighbours for heresy. Many commoners, adherents to the old faith, fear that such flagrant defiance of the lots will usher in the prophesied wrath of the gods. However, you and the other judges have no choice but to reject most of these cases. As a secular institution, the prefecture has no authority when it comes to crime against faith. Only the church and the Inquisition have any say here. In the middle of another busy day at the prefecture office, the door suddenly swings open. A tall gendarme wearing an officer's uniform walks in, takes off his helmet, adjusts his short fair hair, and bows to you hastily. Captain Leonard reporting, Your Honour. My boy's finally caught Father Mark, the dreaded apostate heretic. The prefect told us to take him to you for judgment. You, bring him in. 2 gendarmes bring in a short, stout man wearing a adorned turkey priest cassock. Priests wear the sacred symbol of the twins, and cross within a circle, but this man does not. Forced to sit before you, this odd-looking priest is nonetheless strangely undisturbed by his arrest. His eyes, curious and glimmering with life, study you intently. This is him, Father Mark in the flesh. We caught him trying to preach that teaching of his, smack in the middle of his drinking hole for the lowborn in the Grey district. Some guy took offence and called for the gendarmes, and we got there right away. Father Mark, you've heard the name of since you were a child. His cult of rejection of the twins has expanded tenfold over the past several years, with nobles, commoners, and even other priests joining his flock. The Inquisition has hunted this heretical apostate for years, but Father Mark has always eluded capture, until now. Some say he has powerful protectors. Here are some statements from people at the establishment, Your Honour. Flip through the pages of handwritten statements. Father Mark isn't just preaching, he is openly defying not only the lots, but even the twins themselves. Father Mark teaches that the gods have neither design nor purpose for us, so we are under no obligation to serve them or prepare our souls for the hereafter. As a judge, it is your duty to enforce a secular law. You know as well as I do that I have broken no such law. I'm a priest, my friend, and in the Empire, priests are allowed to preach. I was preaching the proper way to live one's worldly life, for this is the only existence we have. I told my listeners not to waste their lives serving those gods. The twins surely love us, but alas, their love violates us as much as their law. This entire world is proof of that. I see my words upset you, but I am afraid you can't judge me guilty for that. Here's why. You see, mine is a priestly lot. If the judgment of the church is to be trusted, which means that only the Inquisition tribunal may find me guilty. So you could hand me over to those black-clad thugs, but alas, you will get absolutely nothing in return. The Inquisition wants to light their pyres in every corner of Anziot, and all they need for that is me. As soon as they get me, the Inquisitors will tell the prefecture to step aside and start enforcing the law themselves. Is that what you want, my friend? So, what are you to do with me? Well, let's think about it. As a secular judge, you can't judge me guilty,
but giving me to the Inquisition will weaken the prefecture. And so, my friend, everybody will be better off if you just set me free. Trust an old philosopher. It's better for me, better for your prefect, and better for you as well. Surprisingly, the gendarme captain smiles knowingly at these words. He leans over and whispers a few words into your ear. You cannot help but notice a scars all over his neck. I say the old heretic's right, Your Honour. If he's still got a priestly lot, he's the Inquisition problem. It's too dangerous for the prefecture to meddle in churchly affairs. And strictly between you and me, the reports I've been getting are to be trusted. This here Mark's been rubbing elbows with Patriarch Cassus himself. Letting him go might get us on his good side. And Sir Patriarch's a very wealthy man. But suddenly the captain's voice trails off as the door to your office opens without warning. This is a young woman at the door, clothed in a black cassock and bearing the telltale silver seal of the Inquisition. I am Sister Janine, Your Honour. I serve the Order of the Inquisition. Stone faces, piercing brows, they seem familiar. Yes, they're Janine, who we met as a child, working at the church. This is a young acolyte girl from the temple at the Silver Tree, the one you saw during that school visit. There's words, too many words! You're mended well to attract the... I don't have many women voices. You mended well to track down an arrest of Mark. Splendid. We've been hunting this false breach for a long time. As I'm sure you know, priests may not be judged by secular laws, Your Honour. Mark has denigrated the twins and called for the people to reject him. He has broken this record around despite the tribunal transgressions. From now before you is a great threat to the people of Anziot, Judge Brante. His words lead the people astray. His speech is doomed them to eternal suffering at the foot of the pillar, and the church know the way to end this heresy. You will hand Father Mark over to me at once. Sister Jeanne remains in the doorway, wordlessly refusing to leave the prefecture without the captured heretic. The gendarmes and the captain stand still, awaiting your orders. Father Mark is lounging in the chair, enjoying himself and eyeing you curiously, waiting for your decision in this contentious situation. We can't judge him, because justice is way too low. If we hand him over, we lose even more justice. If we set him free, we lose career, but we gain money. We need money. Our career is going to suffer a bit, but we get money. We do need money. Look, it's not... Leon, this is the first time I've played this game. I didn't know what I needed. Besides, a lot of my skills are actually quite good. It's just that they're all spread out. Like 16 here, 14 there, 20 here. That's not bad. I mean, it's not bad, it's good. I'm at the highest ranks for this one, the second highest for that, third highest. Highest rank, second highest, third highest. But yeah, we're just going to take the money. Channel Sister Gian, regardless of the situation, legal action is required and legal action takes time. Then make haste, Your Honour, when it comes to protecting the face, my order will proclaim delay. Inquisitor leaves your office clearly displeased. You are left alone in your office with Father Mark. You still can't afford. Yeah. We're letting him go. You're demonstrating a will of your own, my friend. Well done, Your Honour. This is your first step towards freedom. Yours, not mine. Your fellow judges won't understand your decision, but you mustn't let that cloud your judgment. Handing me over to the Inquisition would spark far more than a single pyre. Inquisitors would gladly break every imperial law you have. You protected the authority of the prefecture. Well done. Although I can't say you'll be free of the predicament anytime soon, but then again, I'm sure one of our many patrons will be happy to soften the blow with a helping of earthly boons. But we have a more pressing matter to discuss right now, don't we? Summon Captain Leonard once again and give him your instructions. Father Mark has been taken to the prefecture jail and mysteriously disappeared from his cell during the changing of the guard at night. You will close the case before then, so there will be no need for a manhunt. Leonard chuckles knowingly and sets off to follow his orders. You fill out the necessary paperwork. No violation of imperial law found. Case closed. You write, then file the aborted case against Father Mark away in a box. The Inquisition learns of this only days later. Sister Jean bursts into your office, beside herself with rage. You call yourself a judge officer, Sir Brante. How dare you defy the Inquisition? Protecting a heretic like Father Mark shows you for the fallen apostate you truly are. We had him, but thanks to you, the Markian heresy will continue poisoning the souls of those whose faith is weak. Hundreds and hundreds will follow Father Mark to the foot of the pillar in the hereafter. You will be responsible for the eternal torment, Sir Brante, and rest assured the Inquisition will not forget this. You return home, exhausted by a long day of threats and accusations. Oh yeah, the career skills, like, I think only came up on this one, or I think they came up on the last one. They might have come up on the last one. You return home, exhausted by a long day of threat and accusations. What awaits you back home, however, is a pleasant surprise, a treasure trove of fine wine, dripped from the cellar of Cassius, Patriarch of Magra. Servant tell you the wine came with a letter. Sir Brante, please enjoy this wine. Savour your earthly life before the twins snatch it away as well. At least we got some money back. Okay. Let's at least try and get the sword, an overwise sword. We need to get our reputation up by 4. If we can do that, we get it. Okay, and I think I'm actually going to have to end the stream here. It's about to hit 10 o'clock. Oh wait, what's going on? Let's at least go through this one first. Your actions result in a well-known progress up the professional ladder. You're expected to have a glorious future in the field of law. You receive more and more invitations to balls and noble gatherings. High-ranking nobles wish to befriend you. Powerful people have been keeping a close eye on your ascent. A personal letter from the magistrate Remy Elverman is delivered to your home.
Sir Pimp Brante, I would like to discuss further our acquaintances and discuss certain matters over a glass of Illyrian. I expect you at my estate this afternoon.
Accompanied by servants, you walk down to the imposing enfilade of Elferman's granite manor. Gold, tapestry, stone carvings of ancestors' profiles. Compared to this luxury, your own home seems tiny and cramped. Elverman greets you by the fire. At home, the influential ruler of this city seems peaceful and amiable.
Judge Brante, pray come in. I'm delighted to see you again. Servants, pour us some wine.
Please have some.
Please have some, Pimp. Though your most recent deeds call for much more than a glass of Illyrian, I'll be frank, after our first encounter I had my doubts about your trustworthiness. But now you have proven by your actions that you have a future.
You sip the wine. It is excellent, as expected. You calmly reply that you strive to serve the Empire and the Prefecture faithfully, and in the manner you deem proper.
I am overjoyed to see that younger generation honours our traditions and cares about the fate of our nation. We have that in common, you and I. Many see me as merely power-hungry, but why would power itself be of interest to me? My family is already powerful and wealthy. This position is secure for many generations to come. No, my friend, I need power to save the city that has been entrusted to me from a grave threat. Take a look around. More and more insurgents are preparing a bloody uprising among the common folk. The new faith compels people to defy their lots. The foundation of the Empire has been shaken. What do you think? Will a new world be born from this? Those who hope to see this happen seem to have forgotten that our world was created in accordance with the twins' design, and we are already on the cusp of provoking their wrath.
Elverman is becoming truly incensed. Apparently the fate of the Empire is not just a subject of idle chattel for him.
You must understand, Brante, I've seen plenty of starry-eyed idealists yearning to change the world, and I know where those dreams lead. We have trespassed against the sacred order, and now we are on the verge of the wrath of the gods. I'm a nobleman and a citizen of the Empire, and it is my duty to save this world from ruin. While the observers and the Archduke persist in their futile squabble, the danger is growing. It's time to take matters into our own hands. I'm seeking allies, people who will stand by my side to protect the city and the Empire. I hope you have the courage to become one of us. Let me speak plainly. Prefect Elborn is, alas, among those who are dragging us toward our destruction. He aims to subject all estates to the tyranny of the law. He seems to have forgotten that the law must serve the good of the Empire and be a mainstay of order. But Elborn wishes to disrupt this order. He is pushing for the lowborn to gain power. What do you suppose will be the first thing they do once they get it? They'll take up arms and destroy this country. Elborn has doomed himself to a shameful fall. Meanwhile, the city needs someone at the helm of the prefecture who is bound by honour and concerned about the fate of the Empire. If you can be that someone, Brante... If you prove yourself worthy in the future, Sir Brante, I can promise you the post of Prefect of Magra. I hope you see it not only as a chance to elevate yourself, but also to make your mark on history. Side with me, and together we'll save Enziot from the uprising. If you remain Elborn's servant,
We will both lose and we'll fall together. Okay, patronage of the powerful is good. Career is good. And we get the justice, that's good. Refuse and protect your family, that's bad. Refuse and protect your career, that's also bad. I mean, honestly, Elborn isn't really helping us. What does Elborn even bring us? Wait, we have to betray him for this. Honestly, that's the way I want to bring Otten to justice. It seems like the best way. We're never getting our justice all the way up, so yeah, let's do it that way. And if we get the reputation up to here and get this, then we can start focusing on unity again. And like the one thing I can do with the promise is ban the Court of Honor, which is never happening because it needs over double my diplomacy. So fuck it. I'm agreeing. Let's get some justice. Well, Elverman can count on your loyalty. You've given me your word as a nobleman, and I might actually mean it this time.
Splendid! I'm pleased to see I was right about you, Brante. You make a marvellous prefect. You've much work to do before we can accomplish this to our alliance.
Clink glasses.
I'll see to your promotion, Pimp. If you have any trouble, don't hesitate to contact me. But in order to make you the prefect, we need to know all of Elborne's plans. You trust your family. I'm sure it will be no trouble for you at all to attain a better understanding of his affairs and gain access to his personal papers. I'll expect weekly reports from you. Go back, go on with your work and maintain your position at the appropriate level. Remember that your every move is being watched. I hope you won't tire yourself by taking your cue from Elborn, but everything is much simpler once you've chosen your side once and for all, isn't it?
Also, how does he know we betrayed him? Look, we tried to do it the justice route. That didn't work. Alright? Oh, God. Noble converts toiling in Illyrian mines have revolted against their noble masters. For the first time in many long peaceful years, commoners have taken up arms. Worse yet, the insurgents had guns and gunpowder, and no one knows how. Gunpowder weapons were banned throughout the Empire as soon as they were invented. The Lords deemed firearms dishonourable and unfit for the nobles. Even Legion's soldiers are forbidden from using them. Now gunshots were echoing through the mutinous Illyrian mines. The Imperial Legion was deployed to quell the riot. The Legionnaires slaughtered the rebels without mercy, and the uprising choked to death on its own blood before it had even begun. The south of Illyria is now a forest of gallows. The convicts' corpses were left swaying in the wind as a warning to any commoner who might dare to take up arms. Though the rebellion quickly succumbed to the Imperial military's onslaught, many Legion soldiers and officers were slain by the insurgents' firearms. Their steel armour was no match for bullets. The rioters' weapons were destroyed in public ceremony, but no one knows who built or smuggled them into the mines. All Imperial overseers issued public reminders in their provinces. Punishment for owning gunpowder and weapon is true death by execution. Well, yeah, they definitely do. The province's wealth is declining, but the discontent of the commoners is still held back by the eternal lot that demands they accept their suffering. Like the Emperor's family, like his direct brothers, is actually doing its best to, like, their stated goal is to increase the commoners' rights, but they've got At least that's what they say publicly. But there are, like, very powerful nobles. The most powerful nobles who aren't part of the family want the exact opposite. So there is definitely some shady shit going on in the background, but that's above our heads. Arrive at the office one fine morning and find a visitor already sitting there. I'm just skipping through this because I'm just doing whatever a Thomas needs. Got bumped up a month ago. Apparently the Legion is running short on decent officers. And then I realised why there's so few of them. Which I knew my deck superior was going to be our very own Commander Otton. Listen, buddy, you and me, we always help each other out, right? Well, it's mainly me helping you, but yes. That Arknian bastard, well, he challenged me to a duel for the second time. He cut me down a month ago. That was my second lesser death. I know, I never told you, but it was tough. The gods, they spoke to me in their hereafter. Please tell me I get to duel. But right now I got something worse to worry about than matters of the soul. See, he remembers me from the time at the academy when I stood up to him at the party. Now he's going to kill me again and again until my true death comes. So it's a duel. That Otton's way of having fun with his subordinates. Pimp, I'm asking you as a friend, will you be my second at the duel? I know Prefect Elborn doesn't like any kind of sword fighting. It's one of the old traditions he wants to put a stop to. But if I show up without a second, he won't just kill me for a third time, it'll dishonour me too. I am definitely going to a duel. I've been waiting to use my duelling skill for so long, and you were my best friend, and we've already burnt our ties with Elborn, so fuck him. Let's do it. But I know this duel won't be the end. I'll great so I'll find an excuse for a third duel before you know it. That'll be my last one for sure. 2 pitch black blinds encircle his forearm. He's desperate, and easy to see why. 1-on-1s against an Arknian swordsman. He's doomed. Law forbids dueling. If you refuse, show Thomas your support. It's literally the only thing we can do as well. It's literally the only thing we have the option to do. Did he really think you would abandon him to such a cruel fate? Of course you will be a second at the duel, no matter what. The friendship will not be broken, not even if you risk Prefect Elborn's pleasure. He's not going to be around long anyway. As the two of you walk to the palace ruins, you finally have time to ask Thomas for more information. What was Ottoman's excuse for challenging him to a duel this time? Here's what happened. Otton told me to head to a nearby village with a squad of Legion soldiers. Zarmina, it's called. The villagers refused to pay the Archduke's tax. Said they already paid the tax to Gaius Tempest's men. He's the overseer, so the law says the tax is his. So Otton told me and the lads to string up a couple of the rowdiest peasants and put their houses to the torch to teach the rest of them a lesson. So we went there, and let me tell you, buddy, I didn't join the Legion to start hanging people and burning villages. So we decided to have a word with the village elder first. The locals soon realised what was going on. Losing money is one thing, but losing a spare life is worse. They hemmed and hawed and finally found enough cash to pay Archduke Melanidis. Which means we came back to Antioch with nobody dead and all the money for the treasury. But then the commander summons me and claims I didn't follow his order, which means I also slighted the honour of the noble Arknian who's my commander. So he challenges me to a duel. And you know what? I'm not the first pimp, and I'm not the last. Any officer in the Legion could end up like me. Otton does as he sees fit, with no plans to stop. He's a commander, he's a noble of the sword, he's an Arknian. We're just dirt under his boot. Who's going to rein him in? You reach the site of the duel just before dawn. By a half-crumbled wall, you see a tall figure clad in a thick cloak, Dorius Otton, High Commander of Magria, with agile fingers drawing patiently on the pommel of his sword. Thomas dutifully bows to his commander. Otton grimaces at him. You're late, Captain Geralt. Why should I have to wait for you? You've insulted me again already. And who is this? I've seen your face before. Anyway, I don't have time for this today. Make haste. I have other duels today. The commander's second appears from the shadows, a young nobleman, quiet and eager to oblige his betters. As seconds, you ask the duelists if they are ready. Without a word, Otton draws his sword. Thomas nods anxiously, clearly ready to face another death. The two bow ceremoniously and adopt a dueling stance. The difference between them is apparent as soon as they begin. Otton's sword seems like an extension of his arm. Thomas pales before him, like a clumsy child who grabs his father's sword for the first time. Everything about this battle shows that Otton treats this duel as no more than entertainment. The Arknian moves around so rapidly and gracefully your friend can barely defend himself against the flurry of strikes. Then, for the smallest moment, Otton tones down his assault, and for the first time during the duel, Thomas makes a riposte. Effortlessly, Otton deflects Thomas's blow and retaliates. his sword sticks through your friend's shoulder. As soon as you see the blade drew blood, you shout for the duel to end. The debt for the insult has been paid in blood. If the loser of the duel is ready to offer his apology, the fight must stop. What? Is some human trying to teach me the laws of the duel? I'm an Acnian of the Otton dynasty. There is no one here who can teach me the ways of honour. Sword flash and stab your friend straight through the heart. The wet red spot begins to spread against Thomas's shirt. Your friend stumbles backward. He drops his sword, his knees buckle. A wheeze, another, then a cough full of blood, and his bright eyes grow dim and dull. Slowly, Thomas's body disappears. His bloodstained clothes, his sword, and his footsteps in the dust are all that remains. Odin hands his sword to his second, who is ready to wipe it down. Well then, that pitiful human will face another duel very soon. Let's hope he fights better during his last life. When your friend is reborn, tell him my exact words. Alpine walks away, calm and composed, his second in tow. Days are numb, all you can do now is gather your friend's belongings and bring him to his house. Unless you intervene, Thomas is doomed to meet his true death soon. You are a judge, but to an Arcanian of such rank and birth, your authority means nothing. Is there any way you can help your friend? God damn it. I was hoping I'd be able to do more. I was hoping I'd be able to, like, challenge him to a duel or something. Oh, case against Otton. Okay, no. I'm just going to keep going. My voice is ragged. We're going to leave this here for now. We're going to leave this here for now. I won't be able to stream. I probably won't be able to stream tomorrow. Or on Friday. Or on I might be able to stream on Saturday. But I think on Sunday I'm just going to, like, take half the day to just finish this. So hopefully I'll be able to stream on Saturday. I will definitely stream on Sunday. And when I do, we will probably be finishing this. Although I might need to take a voice break at some point. Or just buy some milk. Anyway. That's all the life and suffering we're going to do for now. Thanks for coming, everybody. I'm super invested in this. It's actually a really good story, and I do want to go through it like another 3 times to find out what I could do different. I want to join the Lotless, and I want to fight for justice. I wanted to fight for justice in the first place, and I just turned out to be really, really bad at it. So anyway, yeah, we'll do this next time. Until then, have a good night, and thanks for coming. Toodles.